Calm after the storm this morning. 68 degrees and partly cloudy skies. Winds are still out of the south at 15 miles an hour. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott in the Nissan of St. Charles newsroom. Nissan of St. Charles, home of the Lifetime Advantage warranty. There's a path of downed trees, missing shingles from the Quad Cities to the Chicago suburbs, Rockford, down through Peoria. Forecasters say last night's strong storms tore across western and northern Illinois. National Weather Service looking into reports of a couple of funnel clouds. Lots of thunderstorm damage. Forecasters will know later today when they do their wind surveys. An investigation is underway after a 17-year-old robbery suspect was shot and killed by an off-duty Cook County Sheriff's deputy on Chicago's South Side. Police say Rashad Wells and another person entered the hair salon yesterday on West 69th and announced a robbery. Wells was pronounced dead at the scene after the woman deputy fired at that teen and a second suspect took off. Chicago's police superintendent says protecting officers and the rights of the public were the guiding principles behind new use of force policies unveiled yesterday. We get details from AM 560's David Stewart.
Chicago Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson says the new police use of force rules developed over the past year with public input emphasize de-escalation first. He says deadly force would be a last resort, used only when there's an imminent threat of death or great bodily harm.
The new policies add language that strictly prohibits the use of force that is excessive, discriminatory, used as punishment or retaliation, or used in response to an individual exercising their First Amendment rights.
Before implementation, all officers will first be trained on the new rules of engagement. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
There is an autopsy planned today for a suburban Wheaton man who died after tumbling over a railing at Wrigley Field. Richard Garrity fell Tuesday night while leaving the Cubs' home win over the Reds. That incident remains under investigation. The attorney for a Chicago man charged with attacking a security guard last weekend just outside a River North condo building says his client is expressing remorse.
He's horrified by what he sees, and our concern right now is making things right for the victim, and that's what he plans to do.
Matthew DeLeon appeared in bond court yesterday on multiple counts of aggravated battery. Illinois' budget bargain is falling apart. The Illinois Senate moving forward of pieces of what will not be a compromise budget deal. Democrats muscling through parts of a budget plan that would spend $4 billion more than the state takes in. Democrats did not vote for any spending cuts. Republicans did not support either a bargain, and both sides are now blaming each other for the lack of a deal. Cubs score 5 times in the second and hold on for a 7-5 win over the Reds. Angels sweep out the White Sox with a 12-8 win in Anaheim. The news service of Al Piemonte Ford. Stop. Before you buy your new car, you must visit Al Piemonte Ford now. Truckloads of new cars and trucks have just arrived. Everything is priced to sell quickly. Al Piemonte Ford is at 25th and North Avenue in Melrose Park. 5:05, time to check the climate of your business with aircomfort.com, providing the right climate for business since 1935. A check of traffic and weather is on the way next on AM 560.
With all of his faults and the occasional misstep, the President of the United States has one more thing to hang his hat on. He's a promise keeper. He promised to fix the Obamacare problem, and after a few fits and starts, looks like he's doing it. He promised to bring jobs back to America, and no president has done better. He promised to return American leadership to foreign policy after 8 years of leading from behind. And he promised evangelicals he would take the restrictions off churches to let a pastor preach the way he wants. Hey, we're just getting started. For more, keep it here. AM 560, The Answer.
If you have pain, listen up. Dennis Prager here. You don't need to live in pain. Let me repeat that. You don't have to live in pain. Chronic pain is the worst, whether it's from an accident or pain that just develops. So Chicagoland, you're in luck. Dr. Ken Candido is one of the nation's most respected and successful pain doctors. He's been voted one of Chicago's best pain doctors several times. Bottom line, he's the pain doctor you need. Dr. Candido of Chicago Anesthesia and Pain Specialists will help you get off pain medication pain and all of its side effects. How? By finding the source of your chronic pain and fixing it.
This is Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. Let's make you pain-free.
Call Dr. Ken Candido and make an appointment with a cutting-edge, respected, and successful pain physician. Go to mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com. Thousands have been helped with their chronic pain, and you can be the next one. Get the phone number and all the info you need at mypainchicago.com.
5:07. Let's get a check of the roads this early morning in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Good morning, Mike. If a service disruption on the CTA Pink Line between Polk and the Loop, there's signal problems in the Loop. Shuttle buses are running as an alternate. The other lines right now are okay. In Elgin, closure of Liberty, Maidview and Laurel due to downed trees. I-55, northbound heavy. North of I-80, two right lanes are blocked. Emergency vehicles are dealing with a rollover semi in the ditch. South of 55 on 83, everything is open again at Mockingbird after a major wreck late last night. 83 is all open there. Bishop Ford outbound at Sibley, the exit's blocked. Crash with injuries. Westbound Reagan Tollway, there's a vehicle fire. York and 83, that's just cleared. Traffic is a service of Illinois Partners for Clean Air. Does your commute drive you nuts? Stop driving. Save over $900 a month by riding public transit. Put your time to better use and help reduce air pollution. Learn to breathe easy and save easy with Illinois Partners for Clean Air at cleantheair.org. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answers starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center and with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, windy and warm with more clouds than sun, high 80. Partly cloudy, breezy, and cooler tonight with a low 44. Then a breezy and cooler day tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies throughout the day and night, high 58 and a low 46. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
72 at O'Hare. Next news, 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Secure Retirement Radio with host Raj Shah. Sunday mornings at 7 on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Ding, 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 ding. Now it's time for Bruce Lee Wolf and Sean Thompson sitting in for Dan and Amy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Staff announcer.
You know, you're wearing off on me, I got to tell you. Used to be, I'd be all nervous. What are we going to say? I think it's between you and the Valium producer we have. It's like, okay, we're time to do the show now. I mean, it's insanity. There's no...
The goal is to have a seamless transition between the off-the-air talk and the on-the-air talk. And so it's just like a conversation. And we're talking about... I don't know what to talk about. I wanted to talk about this Bob Mueller, and I've gone into the weeds on it. And I consider myself knowledgeable because I know how to pronounce his name, because it looks like Mueller. But I think you want to talk either about the Seth Rich conspiracy or the fact that the stock market is going to crash.
That's what I want to talk about.
So... Is the stock market going to crash?
To me, radio has to have a point. You know, you have to understand. I'm not in radio. You talk of these people.
Neither am I.
You talk of these people. I've never listened to them. I don't know their names. They're obscure to me. Mm-hmm. But what I am is a fan. I'm on the other side of this always. Sure. In the car, smoking the cigar, yelling at people who are wrong. If you remember, that's how I first called you and Dan.
I recall.
Wanted to talk oil prices without knowing anything about it. Anyway.
You did a good job.
Anyway. So radio has to have a point. It's 5:11 in the morning right now. You're in bed. You want to hit your snooze. You really want to hear two guys talking about blah, blah, blah. Or you want to hear, you better get out of bed and get flat if you have stock market positions, because we are in a triple bubble. You want to talk about that? See, that to me, that's what gets you out of bed. You know,
that's it, that you're assuming that people care about money.
I'm assuming people care about their life, their jobs, their assets, their worth.
But you have to understand conservative talk radio, and I'm willing to debate this. You know, the raison d'être for this show. But what they care about is they can't solve their everyday problems. It's impossible. You're a nuts and bolts, dollars and cents kind of guy. what they think they can do is solve the world's problems. So they
Are you going Republican on me? You're doing what Republicans do. You underestimate the people. Don't underestimate the people. They're what makes the world go round.
That's why when you go somewhere, you just told me this yesterday. All anybody's talking about is Trump.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about is Trump. But if you think that we should talk about the fact that our stock portfolio is going to tank in a
Well, what
minute,
is Trump?
Okay,
what
go
are you
ahead.
talking about Trump about? You're talking about him because you're worried about your country. You're worried about your assets. You're worried about your children. You're worried about everything.
Right. So are you
So you
worried that
focus
he's
on
go-
politics because what you've realized subconsciously is that you're the slave to these idiots' decisions. You've realized that. And you've
well, to a large extent we are. And we got to be concerned that the guy that we elected may be impeached because he's going to be railroaded by by the Democrats who are in a distinct minority. How did that happen?
And
so,
if-
but we could. But I am now. You've intrigued me. So what? How is the stock market going to crash?
Well, if I
and
wanna-
go slowly for me because I don't understand.
It's not
things
just the stock
like
market.
triple bubble.
It's not just the stock market.
Yes.
But here's the one thing I
Okay.
want to communicate
All right.
to the end. Because if you watch Fox News, any of these shows, anything, if you speak against politics or the president, you are in a 5 categories of resistance and you are to be ignored and you're hateful and you're evil. And what I want to communicate to you is that I'm not a never Trumper. Trump is irrelevant to me. He means nothing. What I'm worried about is the trajectory of debt and spending. The fact that we are, from 2007 to now, we've quadrupled the money supply, and we pretend it's normal. You have all of these indicators, from the credit exploding from the individual to our nation.
Sean, can't
we don't
just
talk about it.
kick the can down the road and talk about
No,
Mueller right
sooner
now?
or later.
Okay. We got to
See,
talk about it now.
This is why
Okay.
Hayek's book doesn't. He assumed you would figure out that the road to serfdom was a cliff, and it's a bottomless cliff, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what he was. So you have all of these politicians, these frauds, who are more concerned about rigging rules where they can self-aggrandize and self-enrich themselves, right?
Right.
So you have senators and congressmen. I'll never forget when I was young and you learn that Congress spends the money. They're the closest to the people. You think they're looking out for you. And you realize that they spend their whole day raising money. The average know-nothing, slip-and-fall congressman in his jumpsuit, let's use Kinzinger, this fraud, gets elected to represent the people.
And I just
You
let
could
me
like him.
let me
Go
demur
ahead.
for 1 second. I
Yeah.
just want to raise an objection here.
Go ahead.
And then you can go on.
Mhm.
That Adam Kinzinger served this country.
Good for him.
Okay. And I believe he's principled.
Really?
And I think that he is trying to do the best that he can under the circumstances.
Go on his
but
voting
you go
record.
ahead. You go ahead and call
Look
him
at
a
their
fraud.
look at their voting
Okay.
records. You ran as a Tea Party conservative. You voted for every spending bill. You voted to expand the government at every turn.
Because-
You've in essence
because po-
voted against everything you ran as in 2010.
Because politics is the art of the possible, as Aristotle said.
Now I just picked on him. I could have went with the other moron who painted his office
Roscoe.
red. No.
Oh.
The one who painted his office red.
Oh.
The other young kid with the
Yeah.
tailored suits. He
I
thinks
know.
he's all that in a bag of chips. What's his name?
The one who's facing.
What's his name?
criminal
Aaron
charges.
Schock.
Yeah, Aaron
Potts.
Schock.
I really don't need you for this. Are you listening? I got to come up with my own answers here. Anyway.
Don't test me on names now.
And then you talk about Peter Roskam, elected in 2006. Another slip
These
and
are
fall.
our guys.
No, yeah, this is my problem. This is why I say to you, and the phrase of the week should be that a saboteur is more dangerous than an opponent.
Would you just tell me? All right,
Okay, so you
just assume for the sake of argument or arguendo, as we say in the law,
Mm-hmm.
that you're correct about all these politicians. I really want to know: is the stock market going to crash today?
Yeah, well,
okay.
here-
Well, tell me how it's gonna
margin
crash.
debt has never been higher in the history
What
of our
does
country.
margin debt mean?
So if you hold stock, you have one or two ways to take your money. You can sell the stock and take your money. You can borrow against it.
Okay.
So they're borrowing against it. So
Okay.
those are called margin calls, of which I did that for a living.
Okay.
That's when you call rich people up and say, hey, dummy, you don't have enough money in your account to hold your position.
Okay.
And then they have to scramble to get their money. Well, what helps those margin calls from happening is when you have a massively inflated stock market based on no fundamentals. And if you listen, we had a call.
We have the sugar rush of the quantitative easing, right?
It-
The only place to
they're
park
gap
your
rallies.
the only place to park your money is in the stock market because
No, this is when idiots run
Right.
to the party because they think it's good and they don't realize it's about to be busted by the police. This is what
Exactly.
this is.
That's
so
what it
here's
is.
we had a caller earlier and I was arguing and he kept saying, if you listen to him in the background, you and I were arguing over him. He was a guy from I think Hinsdale. And he kept saying, what's your, he couldn't understand why I reject all this Keynesian economics.
Mm-hmm.
What's your problem? Look at your portfolio. I don't know if you caught that in the background, what he was saying.
Sure.
See, and that's what people who don't care
It's
about.
based on a fraud. Can we get back to this after you talk about what's really important, and that is whether it's going to be partly cloudy or partly sunny today?
Let's
Which is
do
a
that.
philosophical
It's important,
question.
too. It's important.
That's very, very important.
Just for today, though.
Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
So the reason I think it's important today is because today is the last decent day.
Sure.
Really is. Today is windy and warm with more clouds than sun, which I kind of like that stuff. High 80. I love that. It's almost not hot enough. High 80. Tonight, partly cloudy, breezy, and cooler. And here's when it happens, Bruce. It's going to drop to 44. Are you kidding me? Your outfit will finally be appropriate.
Isn't that interesting? The stock market is going to crash as the weather crashes.
No
as well.
correlation, but I like the fact you're willing
no
to
causal nexus.
Nothing to buy puts about on the weather.
Are you going to use causal nexus?
No.
I would like for you to do that.
Okay. All right. The causal nexus for tomorrow: mainly cloudy, breezy, and cooler with a high of 58. Low tomorrow night, 46. And it's like this really until Monday.
Wait a minute. I'm supposed to play golf Saturday. What's the weather going to be Saturday?
Saturday, cloudy with a couple showers. Oh,
What's
perfect.
the high
You got all
Saturday?
the excuses to shoot bad. And a heavy thunderstorm. You go ahead. Wait on the first tee for everybody. It's going to be 73.
Oh, that's good.
Lows Saturday night, 56. Sunday, it's the high's only going to be 68. Monday, finally back up to 76. But every one of these nights drops below 50. It's cold. It's miserable. Jim Telemonte will tell you got to roll up the windows when you're stuck in traffic behind the Prius.
That's right. Good morning. Good morning. A causal nexus. Must have been somebody's high school band, right? Northbound I-55. We got big delays. The cause is a rollover truck crash. Traffic's basically stopped from 52 to Black Road. 2 right lanes are blocked. You see that on the Travel Midwest Jam Cam. That truck's in the ditch there. Bishop Ford outbound, the exit to Sibley blocked due to a crash with injuries. In Elgin, downed trees closing Liberty from Eastview to Laurel. We have a utility closure in Lake Geneva from Main Street, the heart of town, due to utility issues. Kennedy, express lanes have opened on the inbound side. No delays there. The Edens is fine. Same goes for the Eisenhower. Ryan's still okay. We see light delays now on the inbound side of I-57 and the Bishop Ford. Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity, sponsored by Upstream-Ideas.com. When a culture celebrates, it begets. An internal FBI report obtained by Paul Bedard at the Washington Examiner finds the D.C. press corps Dem politician Combine's neutral to laudatory review of Black Lives Matter rioters makes us less safe by making police less safe. The FBI reviewed 50 murders of police officers in 2016 and found in 14 of the cases the offenders simply wanted to kill police. The assailants, inspired by social and or political reasons, believed that attacking police officers was their way to get justice. The former mayor of Baltimore created a safe space for rioters in the wake of Freddie Gray's death. That has left her successor crying to the FBI for help in combating Baltimore's 20-year high murder rate. Chicago Mayor Tiny Dancer scapegoated the police locally and brought Obama Attorney General Loretta Lynch to town to tell the nation they were all racist. After more murders in Chicago last year than in New York City and LA combined, Chicago saw a 45% increase in murders in April as compared to April of last year. When you treat police like the bad guys, you embolden the bad guys.
For half a century, Schrank's Smoke & Gun has been the firearm store generations of customers trust. And during the month of May, Schrank's is offering an excellent concealed carry pistol at an amazing price. All new Sky 9mm 10-round pistols are on sale for only $239. Schrank's has Lake County's largest selection of new, used, and consignment pistols, rifles, shotguns, and an impressive variety of ammo. Over 700 firearms in stock, including a huge selection of AR rifles from Colt, Smith & Wesson, Civilian Force Arms, and many more. Even collectibles, older hunting rifles, plus full gunsmith services. And you can get all of your favorite cigars at Schrank's. So drive north to avoid the Cook County taxes and don't miss the $239 sale on Sky 9mm pistols. Perfect for concealed carry all through May. Visit smoke_gun.org or call 847-662-4034 for directions. Schrank's Smoke & Gun in Waukegan, your family-owned gun store since 1964.
AM 560, The Answer. When you've got questions, he always has an answer. It's Sean Hannity, this afternoon at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy, who are in Punta Cana. And, you know, we're going to get to Bob Mueller and how he's the special counsel, not the independent counsel, and that's a distinction without a difference. But first, I mean, the stock market apparently, according to Sean, and he ought to know because he's made some money, there's a triple bubble going on right now.
It's not that you
so
made.
why is it crashing today? Tell us. The sky is falling.
It's not
Chicken
that you
Little.
made. It's not about the money you make. There are some of the most brilliant guys down there, our analysts, who are too afraid to trade. I just was lucky. You know,
Sure.
I took advantage of an opportunity. I didn't take as much advantage as I should have. Believe me, I was a journeyman. I went to work every day. We made some money. That's it.
Okay.
But one thing you had to do if you were going to be in that world is you had to learn fundamentals. One thing that has discouraged people who follow fundamentals is that we no longer have them. And we are pointing to an economy that I believe is built on nothing more than fraud. It's built on the fact that we've quadrupled the money supply. Bernanke just happened to do that. No one talks about between TARP, but you had the quantitative 1, 2, and 3.
Sure.
You've quadrupled the money supply.
Okay, but why is this
Where does
happening
that
now?
go?
We all
Well,
recognize.
you've done this whole kick the can down the road.
But
So-
Sean, why today?
Well, what I see today is that you have not just the volatility index is at record lows. You have, if you look at the S&P 500, you've got the earnings of the stocks versus the price of the stocks. It's in some cases 20 times earnings. Crashes happen when it's above 12.
Okay.
When it's above 10. Why aren't crashes happening?
All right.
And crashes are not happening.
What's another indication?
Because you're borrowing cheap money to corporations, to
Exactly.
businesses. So they're taking that money and they're stock speculating, or they're buying their own stock back.
Are there any other indications that this is going to that we're on the precipice of this?
I also
we're in the
believe
Thelma
that,
and Louise
well, now
moment.
my real job during the day now is a
Okay.
real estate broker. I also believe that real estate, you've been pointing at inflation prices and selling it to people as good value, as equity increases. When what you're not, it's a mirror image of inflation that's creating prices to go up.
Okay, but all this
In
stuff is
essence-
happening. It's all timing. Is this why is you walked in
Because
here
you're
today?
doing the same thing you did when you created the bubble. You're giving money to people who believe it, who need
Okay.
it, can't pay it back.
But you're not.
That's who you're giving it to
I
first.
need an answer, and I need it right now.
Credit.
Why is it happening
Credit.
today, and not 5-10 years from now?
Well,
Why?
what I see are everything's in a line today. Is the stock market crash going to happen today? No. And here's another thing why I like a stock market crash. More than 50% of self-proclaimed experts are bullish. Anytime that happens,
Okay.
with all of these negatives, you get a crash because once it hiccups just a little, they're going to plummet because they're on margin.
All right, let's talk to Ari from Des Plaines. Hi, Ari.
Hello, good morning. I agree with you, and I want to comment. I want to know what you think about what I think. It seems to me that our whole economy is based nothing on but people trading services with each other. We don't actually produce anything, and it seems like everything that we have, it just seems to me like a house of cards completely.
Well, we're in a service economy. I mean, that's what.
But no. The two don't have to be connected. To his point, he's fundamentally looking at the country as if it was a corporation. That's not necessarily what has to happen. You can be, don't forget, we're transforming our economy too. You have the internet thing, so you're applying fundamentals prior to the internet to things that
Sure.
happen after the internet. Amazon has never really made money if you look at it. Yet the stock is $600 and some. So now, why is that? Well, that's because it will, and it is, and it's becoming more and more a necessity. I mean, they finally found a way to make the post office work on Sunday, and that's Amazon.
Absolutely.
So, the economy's changing. You look at Japan. Japan never really produced anything yet. Financially, it was a very, very strong company in the 70s, as it started to rebuild. You can have countries that aren't manufacturing hubs that are very wealthy. You can do it. It doesn't have to be. I agree with what he says.
It's a changing shape of the economy.
But you're not changing. Here, listen, you have financial guys selling you that a good sign of an economy is a high oil price. When oil is the fundamental denominator of everything you see, touch, and feel. It's not just gas in your car. You cannot have a strong economy with high oil. But you've sold people on chanting against their own best interest, which is high oil. So you've got a bastardization of reality, of fundamentals, where we are now on credit. Every credit is exploding. Not just from your kid in college, but from everybody. And simultaneously, the nation's credit is exploding. That's why I reject Republicans. You've sold people on the way to have a strong economy is to fake it through municipal spending.
Not conservative Republicans who are doing their
There's no such
absolute
thing
best.
anymore. When are we going to
Absolutely.
decide
All
these
right,
words
so
have been manipulated?
In some, we should be worried. We have been worried. I get it. I'm with you.
We should
but it's not
rebuild.
necessarily going to happen today.
No, well,
Okay.
no, it's not necessarily going to happen today, but I think it's going to happen sooner rather than later. And the other thing is, you keep sticking the fork in the outlet. You need to throw out fraud Republicans. You need to throw them out. I'm sorry. Suffer through. It's better to have an opponent than a traitor. Period. That's why everyone knows Benedict Arnold's name. Very few know Cornwallis.
I know both of them.
Well, you're a learned man, and it's not like you have time to change your clothes, apparently. He's had the same outfit on, ladies and gentlemen, for the whole week.
Well, because I'm preparing for the crash, and I can only afford one outfit right now. Well, all right, we're going to that's the stock market talk.
All right, we won't talk about it anymore.
No.
On to nonsense.
Yes, independent counsel versus special counsel, and how many angels can dance on the head of a pin.
La 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 la, ka-ching.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
They are here, circling over your head, and they're tracking you down. You feel overwhelmed, like you can't escape. You need a solution to get your back taxes filed, to put your life back on track. You need someone who can keep the vultures at bay and work directly with the IRS to leverage every opportunity to settle your tax debt. Mary Karpowitz, CEO of Comprehensive Tax Solutions, is licensed to represent you before the IRS. Don't let the IRS threaten you. You should never need to speak to them directly. Mary does that for you. Comprehensive Tax Solutions will help you settle your entire IRS tax debt for up to 85% off the original amount owed, including penalties and interest if you qualify. Comprehensive Tax Solutions, family-owned in Chicagoland, can be a lifesaver for you. Call 708-478-6770, 708-478-6770, or go to resolveyourtaxproblems.com. Call 708-478-6770 now.
Hi, this is Jeff from Basement Flood Protector. Finishing a basement requires a tremendous amount of time and money, transforming concrete walls into living space better suited for children playing, friends watching football, or just hanging out. But how many of you made the investment in a sump pump system that ensures the protection of your new living space in the event of heavy rains, mechanical failures, and power outages? You went from concrete to carpet, maybe concrete to hardwood, and in the event of a flood, you're going to go from squeegee to replacing floors. However, by joining our network of 25,000 customers, you will enjoy the same peace of mind knowing your basement is safe regardless of weather conditions because of early warning mechanisms and simply having equipment that just works as expected. We are Basement Flood Protector. Protecting homes from flooding is all we do. I invite you to call today at 800-238-0822 or visit don'tflood.com to learn more and for no-nonsense pricing. That's 800-238-0822 or don'tflood.com. Use the call letters of this station for a 5% discount.
Did you know that if you have mutual funds in your IRA, 401k, or investment accounts, that according to Forbes magazine, you could be paying as much as 3.17% in hidden fees every single year? 3.17% may not sound like much, but over 10 years, it's costing you 32%, whether your fund is up or down. Hi, it's Tom Fortino of the Alpha Wealth Group in Chicago and host of the Alpha Wealth Hour on AM 560. This is just one of the reasons I hate mutual funds, and you should too. You may not know this, but you have far more investment options today without the excessive fees. Learn what they are in my free report, The Truth Behind Mutual Funds. What you learn may shock you. To get your free report, The Truth Behind Mutual Funds, call 630-519-4742. There's no obligation. That's 630-519-4742.
Investment advisory services. Offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, Inc.
AM 560, The Answer.
Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson coming up after the news. We're going to talk about whether Donald Trump is getting off on this whole thing. My theory is that he is.
Don't ever say Donald Trump and getting off again.
All right. Thank you for the radio tip.
Let's go to Mike Scott, that handsome son of a gun.
We've been talking economics this morning, and let's give you the latest numbers. Asian stock benchmark skidding just a bit lower, following Wall Street's worst day in months as Washington political chaos made investors skittish about risky assets and the outlook for President Trump's business-friendly proposals. Both the stock benchmarks in Korea and Japan were lower today. Special counsel taking over the Russian investigation. Former FBI Director Robert Mueller was appointed to that position yesterday by Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein. Chairman Richard Burr of North Carolina believes Mueller is the right choice.
This is, I think, a positive thing for the American people that you've got a former director of the FBI and a highly respected lawyer who can work for the acting attorney general.
Former FBI Special Agent Clint Watts worked under Mueller and says there's right now no one better for the job.
You couldn't have picked a better person to take on this investigation and try and see it through.
The probe includes looking at Russian meddling in the U.S. election, as well as any ties between Russia and the Trump campaign. In the Nissan of St. Charles newsroom, Nissan of St. Charles, home of the lifetime Advantage warranty. Here are the other stories we're following this morning. Protests break out in Tulsa, Oklahoma, after a police officer was acquitted yesterday in the shooting death of an unarmed black man. Jury found Tulsa officer Betty Shelby not guilty in the death of Terrence Crutcher. Following the verdict, Tiffany Crutcher accused Shelby of murder.
Betty Shelby murdered my brother, and after she murdered my brother, all of the officers involved with the Tulsa Police Department tried to cover for her.
During her trial, Shelby testified she shot Crutcher because she thought he was reaching for a gun and was high on PCP. PCP was found in Crutcher's car. Health workers are monitoring more than 400 amid an Ebola outbreak in the Congo. Already 3 deaths are blamed on the virus. An experimental vaccine has been developed since the West African epidemic in 2014 through 2016 that left 11,000 dead, but the WHO is still awaiting permission from the Congolese government to use it. Also this morning, there's a path of downed trees and missing shingles from the Quad Cities to the Chicago's suburbs. Strong storms ripped across western and northern Illinois overnight. An investigation is underway after a 17-year-old robbery suspect was shot and killed by an off-duty Cook County Sheriff's deputy on Chicago's south side. And the latest plan to change how Illinois pays for schools still gives the Chicago Public Schools a $200 million special deal bailout. Bloomington Normal Republican Jason Barrickman says that's why the plan to pay for schools is little more than an overall bailout for Chicago only. Cubs score 5 times in the second, holding on for a 7-5 win over the Reds. Angels sweep out the White Sox with a 12-8 win. The news a service of Sheboygan, Wisconsin Tourism. In Sheboygan, Wisconsin, there really is no traffic, and the weather is always perfect for something: biking, surfing, art museums, culinary experiences, and fun. All just a couple of hours' drive away. Get out of town at visitsheboygan.com. 534, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher sees a troubling trend.
You are doomed if you dare say anything positive about Donald J. Trump. That's what everybody on the left and maybe in the center and maybe some on the right are coming to accept. Can we not talk about our country without the left thinking that you're a Nazi skinhead if you agree with many of Trump's policies?
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Cabela's Memorial Day sale is going on now. Family events, amazing deals. Stop in and save this week at Cabela's in Hammond and Hoffman Estates.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hi, I'm Dave Geiselhart, president and owner of Home Trust Mortgage and customer of Signature Bank. When the large banks turned away from the mortgage lending industry during the financial crisis, I turned to locally owned Signature Bank. Signature Bank stepped in and helped me expand our business at a time when the larger banks wouldn't. Today, I'm proud to say Home Trust Mortgage has been able to expand our business in Illinois and the Great Lakes region. We couldn't have done that without the help of Signature Bank. Signature Bank truly helps Chicago businesses like mine grow and thrive. That's why we also became personal customers and shareholders of Signature Bank, Chicago's business bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
536 and a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Mike. And Elgin Liberty Street remains closed between Laurel and Eastview with downed trees. CTA Pink Line trains are not running between Polk and the Loop due to signal problems. There are shuttle buses running, or you can connect to the Blue Line at Racine. Go in from there. The Edens is fine, so is the Kennedy. Reversibles have opened inbound. About Eisenhower, a little slow Manheim to First Avenue. It's about a 2-minute delay. Outbound fine. Northbound I-55 is jammed from US 52 to Black Road. 2 right lanes are blocked to clean up a truck crash. Farther north, Stevenson delays start at Harlem. 38 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan is 17 minutes, 95th to downtown. Slight delays now on inbound I-57 at the Bishop Ford. Traffic service of Freedom Golf Association. Compete in Freedom Golf Association's annual golf outing Friday, June 9th at Cog Hill. You and your foursome will be teamed up with a special needs golfer in the best ball tournament. Learn more and sign up at fgagolf.org. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Windy and warm again today. More clouds than sun and a high near 80. Partly cloudy, breezy and cooler overnight. Will drop to a low of 44. Currently, we have 70 degrees at O'Hare, 68 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 6. With Dan and Amy in Punta Cana, Chicago's Morning Answer soldiers on this morning with Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio. Online at iHeartRadio.com.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Oh,
one way or another. I'm gonna get you.
Geritol peaks early, doesn't it, Mike Scott?
Okay, wait. Somebody take my blood pressure, please.
Get that iced coffee away from him. Too much caffeine too early.
Yesterday, I was pushing him over the finish line like an old Buick. No, they're peppiest in the morning like babies. Isn't that something as you get old, you turn into a baby again? Pretty soon you'll be changing your diapers.
Well, I do, on the fives. Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy. And did you hear that Mike Scott said the show was soldiering on with us? I've never been compared to a soldier. You know, my draft number was in the lottery was 334.
Is that radio speak for it sucks? I can't figure out what that means.
So Sean says during the break he doesn't want to talk about the guy who fell to his death from Wrigley Field. And neither do I, because if it's not Ronnie Woo Woo, I don't really care.
Hey, come on, it's Darwin. He's harder and harder to argue with.
Sure.
Go ahead, dummy.
So a guy
Hang off
died.
the balcony.
And he doesn't want to talk about, because we're watching on these video screens overhead, so we're kept informed, the various TV shows, TV newscasts going on, and we noticed that Channel 9 has a new set.
Yeah.
I noticed, though, that in the background, it's the same set that everybody else has. It's pictures of buildings downtown. And I'm wondering why they don't have any picture of the Englewood neighborhood, since all their stories are about the murders in Englewood. So I don't understand.
To me,
discriminatory to me.
Channel 9, like when you were a kid and your parents would drag you by that one spinster relative who never had a husband or a kid, and everything just looked, everything was like that gray. It just, I don't like it. I don't like Channel 9. I don't watch it. I have to be entertained.
Well, that's the cool morning show.
I don't
They're
even
the funny
have,
guys.
I don't even have to agree with you. Like I can't stand Fox News anymore. I can't stand it. Where they, it's just propaganda. It's Pravda. But
Why? And no,
short skirts and that oil on the legs, I'm watching it.
By the way,
That's it.
Kimberly Guilfoyle will not be replacing
Come
Sean
on.
Spicer. No, so we're not going to get any gams up at the podium. So yesterday, the big news that I spent like 4 or 5 hours studying, going into the weeds on, and apparently you don't care about one whit, is that Robert Mueller is going to be the special counsel to investigate the Russian connection to the election last year, possible collusion with the Trump campaign.
Misleading the audience. And I'll tell you what I mean by that.
What do you
You're
mean?
the lawyer, Northwestern grad. And when I walked in the studio today, what did you say? What did you say?
What I don't recall what
Special
I said.
prosecutor, you called him.
Yes.
At which point I corrected you. And I said, no, he's special counsel.
What's the difference?
One's a Keystone Cop. It doesn't matter. You're put in by the same people. I love it when government regulates itself. Oh, please. You just had dinner with me last night, and all of a sudden you're going to put me in jail?
What's the difference between an independent counsel, a special prosecutor? Well, nobody knows, and that's one of the problems with this, is that he's going to have such broad latitude that he's going to wind up doing what other special prosecutors have done and go into the weeds like Ken Starr did or Patrick Fitzgerald. Did you realize that Patrick Fitzgerald, the
He's the Illinois guy who, when he decided not to run anymore, he immediately fled the state with the blinking eye? Is that him? Little twitchy? Yeah, I remember.
Patrick Fitzgerald investigated the Valerie Plame outing years ago. And then wound up getting Scooter Libby convicted, it was essentially the cover-up of a non-crime. You know, it was one thing when you have a cover-up of a crime, which was Watergate, but this was a cover-up of a non-crime because the outing of Valerie Plame as being a CIA agent was not a crime, and it was done by the Undersecretary of State, Richard Armitage. Are these too many names that I'm throwing at you right now?
Well, you know what?
Okay, all right. Here, let me just finish.
Where
one
are they now? Let's do a "Where Are They Now"
Okay.
segment. Some says they're retired on an island somewhere with a lot of money.
Well, Scooter Libby's sentence was commuted, but the whole point is that the investigation went far afield, and that's what you get concerned about with these special prosecutors, because Donald, for all we know, there is no underlying crime here.
We've already solved it on Monday.
Well, did the Russians actually collude with the collusion isn't even a crime. Collude
Bingo.
with the Trump campaign?
No, it was Paul Manafort and Roger Stone.
But
We
they had
already
nothing to
figured that
do
out.
with rigging the election.
When Trump found out what scumbags they were, although I
got
don't
rid of
like
them.
I don't like the connection of Trump and Roger Stone. Roger Stone's a lowlife. When he found out what they were, he got rid of that Wayne Newton lookalike Paul Manafort. You know, hundreds of millions of dollars. You're paid by an oligarch of the Ukraine. I mean, you know, come on.
But what I'm saying is
the real problem is our system is set up, because all I heard out of this whole story is that resources will be made available, which means he can run with money.
Well, and here's
That's
what we should be concerned about, because there is a so-called Republican agenda, which is health care, tax reform, and the like, and that could get derailed as we're concentrating on this crazy investigation into nothing.
Where were
talk
the
about
rails?
A show about nothing.
Where were the rails going anyway?
Well, here's the problem. I mean, Trump, of course, is his own worst enemy, because you've got Comey with the contemporaneous memorandum in which he's talking about Trump trying to obstruct justice, supposedly. But we don't really know that. Well, all this is going to be gotten into, and you know that it's trouble because the Democrats are celebrating this. They got what they wanted. They got an special counsel who's going to look into it. Now, you just hope as a Republican conservative that this Mueller is a straight shooter, that he's not going to leak to the press, and that it is going to be muzzled for the time being and may give us a chance to breathe and perhaps get tax reform enacted, perhaps become more
Bruce,
fiscally
are you buying these
responsible.
talking points? I mean, I know, you're older and you're the target audience of news propaganda. I mean, you know how you stupefy a Democrat? You stupefy them by saying, what would Hillary Clinton have done differently economically and for the trajectory of the country?
From Trump?
From Trump. What would
Zero.
she have done?
Well, actually,
Zero.
she wouldn't have gone for lowering the corporate tax rate. She wouldn't have.
You know why? It's an illusion anyway. Any corporation that's really getting taxed has enough money to shill it around. What's GE paying corporate
It hurts.
taxes?
It hurts. You don't want the
What's
money.
Goldman
You don't
Sachs
want the
paying
money
corporate
parked.
taxes?
You don't want the money parked overseas. You want to.
So you're going to force them to make it back? You're going to force them to bring it back? And
You don't force them. It's
No.
repatriated because they have the incentive.
Read the whole thing. If you bring it back within a certain time period, you pay 10%. If you don't, we're coming after you. It's extortion. Okay?
Look, I don't like
So
that.
now here's the
there
other
should
thing.
be a zero corporate tax
Is the
rate.
money the company's property or not? What business is it of if the corporation has decided through its research, through its people, you know what? I don't want to put my money in that country. What is a government that says bring the money back except totalitarian? How do you describe it any other? See, you're following the shiny object. You could look at the pretty girl in the magic show, but I like to look at the hand of the magician. And the reality of what's happening here is it's an illusion of tyranny.
Look, I understand that ultimately we are all taxed for the corporate tax rate because they pass on the costs to us. But we do need to, there are certain elements of economics that make sense, and one of them is to lower the taxes. We just talked to Stephen Moore yesterday, all right? And you didn't argue with him over this. You had your chance, counselor, and you didn't.
Well, you said play nice. I played
Oh,
nice.
you could actually debate these things. And all I'm saying is that lowering taxes, some of these taxes will help, and that's part of our agenda, because the higher taxes you have, the more spending that you have by the Democrats, and then we go
The
down
tax
to
should
Gomorrah.
not be there in the first place.
All right,
So unless you're talking about eliminating it, you're not talking about fixing the problem.
It doesn't have to be an all or nothing
Yes, it does.
proposition.
There's no compromising
it's you
with.
extremist talk show hosts with your shows on Sundays. I'm just fed up with you guys.
You can't compromise with stupid.
One
you get more
way
stupid.
or another.
Nice song.
I'm going to
Love
get
it.
you to
Love
come
it.
to my side.
I got to do the weather, man. Come on.
Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Today, Thursday, make sure the garbage cans are in front of the house. Windy and warm with more clouds than sun, high 80, and it's the last time you're going to see it, at least until Tuesday. Tonight, partly cloudy, breezy, cooler, low down to 44. Tomorrow, mainly cloudy, breezy and cooler, high of 58. Low tomorrow night, 46. Oh, boy, and then it's Saturday. The hacker Bruce will be on the tee all by himself.
8:20 tee time. 8:20 a.m. tee
nice.
time.
Well, it's cloudy with a couple showers. And then right when you're on the second hole, heavy thunderstorms. Warmer. It's going to get up to 73, so you shouldn't be shivering too much. Then Saturday night down to 56.
Yeah, but it's going to get up to 73 after I'm done with the round.
Jim Telemonte. He's telling you where the people can't drive.
Good morning, gentlemen. In Elgin, no driving on Liberty between Laurel and Eastview due to downed trees. There are branches down all over Oak Lawn, though none of the major thoroughfares there are blocked. We're seeing some delays now on the inbound Eisenhower starting on Wolf Road. It's 35 minutes, Thorndale to downtown. Outbound still fine at 29. The Edens and the Kennedy are still clear. Northbound I-55 jammed from US 52 to Black Road. 2 right lanes are blocked to clean up a truck crash. And the Stevenson is running 40 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 19 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tollways are looking good. CTA Pink Line trains have delays. They're only getting as far as Polk due to signal issues, so passengers can transfer to the Blue Line at Racine to continue into downtown. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Are you at least 62 and looking to purchase a home? Then you need to do what a lot of people are doing and call David Hochberg, Vice President of Pearl Mortgage, about securing a reverse mortgage loan. David's been talking about reverse mortgages for years, but listeners are still skeptical. So David would like to introduce Jack Gutentag, Professor of Finance Emeritus at the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania. According to Professor Gutentag, purchasing a home with a reverse mortgage has the great advantage that it doesn't impose a monthly payment burden on the borrower. Let's review. David and Professor Gutentag both agree financing a home with a reverse mortgage is excellent for home buyers at least 62 years old. If you're securing a mortgage, you should work with the best, and the best in the mortgage business, especially reverse mortgages, is Team Hochberg at Pearl Mortgage. The only call you need to make when securing a mortgage is to David. Looking to secure financing on a new home or refinance your existing home? Then you need to do what a lot of people are doing and call David Hochberg, Vice President of Lending at Pearl Mortgage.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
It's working great on me. I can't believe it. I've been having a lot of health issues. You know, my muscles, my legs, my knees. So ever since I've been taking this, I've really, really improved. My blood pressures are way down. My cholesterol's are back to normal. I'm in just good shape. I can't believe this thing is going. I even lost 6 pounds when I went to the doctor. And he wanted to know what I'm doing to lose 6 pounds. But I'm not doing anything. I just taking this Balance of Nature, and it's working out for me. And it'll work for anybody, I know.
Take Dr. Howard's Health Challenge and find out how to get 2 free sets of fruits and veggies. We'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
Searching for that black box is one of the most important aspects of aircraft accident investigation. But then, of course, you gotta have an airplane crash to investigate. I get it. Wait for the crash, investigate after. Sounds a bit late for all those on board. Sad to say, the same kind of black box approach is currently being used in our healthcare system today, which means nothing more than you feeling under the weather. Then we'll study the black box, x-rays, blood work, endless streams of diagnostic testing, uncover a terrible disease that may require a treatment plan that may prove even more deadly than the disease itself. This is Dr. David Kolbaba. I'm not into crash investigation. Here at HealthQuest, our passion is prevention. Spend more time, energy, and money on true preventative health care today, or you'll undoubtedly be spending more precious time, energy, and money later on some terrible sickness or disease. True prevention saves lives, one life at a time. How about you and your life? An ounce of prevention is worth more than a pound of risky and dangerous medical care. Give us a call, 1-800-794-1855. That's 1-800-794-1855.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up next, it's me, Mike Gallagher, right after Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560, The Answer.
I've been trailing on the road
before you go to him.
You don't want to go to Verlon?
I do want to go to him, and
okay.
he's a good guy. He's a great guy.
Sure.
But he's got this thing. He's going to explain how he's a conservative. Well, unless they change the definition of conservative, unless bankruptcies don't matter, unless failures don't matter, unless scams don't matter, contract law, sued I don't know how many times. All right, hit me. How is he a
and
conservative?
gentlemen, Sean Thompson, who preempts the caller, actually answers
I am
the
a
caller.
caller.
Actually answer the caller before the caller gets to say what he wants to say.
Only my friends. Verlon is my friend.
Hello, Verlon.
All right, how y'all guys doing? Ooh,
Good.
I love the way y'all set that up. But you know what? I got to do a Popeye. I've had all I can stand, and I can't stand no more. Sean, I hope you got a Mossberg pump because I got a double-barrel shotgun. Now, I got a question.
Wow.
How is it? And this is rhetorical.
Okay.
How isn't Trump a conservative? He has one of the most conservative financial bills that he put out there in history. He got a tax reform bill that's more conservative than Ronald Reagan.
He's on a roll. Let him go.
Reagan. Then he's trying his best to keep us safe from terrorism, Muslim radicals, but the courts keep stepping in his way. His Healthcare Act might not be as conservative as you want it to be, but it's conservative enough. And I want to say this, the Bill Buckley rule stands. If you got 10 issues and he lines up with 7 of them, he's conservative enough. So now I ask you the question again, and this time literally, how isn't Donald Trump keeping to the conservative playbook?
I get to respond because Sean already responded before you talked, Verlon. And I will say, as Bill Buckley said, don't imminentize the eschaton.
He just wanted to do a
All right,
Bill
Verlon?
Buckley impersonation.
You understand that? Don't imminentize the eschaton. Appreciate that.
Couple of things.
Yes.
When
we got to go.
You're creating spending and new taxes. You're not a conservative. We could just start there. You're creating
It's
and
a
propagating.
step. It's a step.
Yeah. Any guy who talks about a VAT tax is not a conservative, or a tariff, not a conservative. He's a manipulating
Of course
showman.
he
That's
is.
all he is.
Of course he is.
Stop watching
Yeah.
Fox, baby. It's wearing off.
Saving carrier jobs. Of course, that was a canard. And you can save big money at Canards, the sponsor of this segment, here on the Bruce and Sean Show, substituting for Dad and Amy.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
So, for the past 8 years, you've wanted to sell your home but couldn't because you were underwater. Well, thankfully, those days are over. Almost every town in the Chicagoland area is experiencing a strong seller market. I'm John Wright with the Wright Real Estate Group of Keller Williams, and we have ready, willing, and able buyers and not enough homes to offer them. So if you've been thinking about a move across town or a move out of Illinois to a more tax-friendly environment, give me a call. We promise to give you an honest, professional, and experienced opinion on the value of your home. If you like what you hear and feel we're a good fit, let's do business. And if not, we'll still part as friends. The spring market is off to a busy start, so give me a call at 630-202-7241. I look forward to getting to know you.
Call John Wright and the Wright Real Estate Group of Keller Williams at 630-202-7241 or visit WrightRealEstateGroup.com. They'll get you moving at the speed of right.
Need a new CPAP? Then we need you. We're CPAP.com, and we recently overstocked the world's best CPAP machines. Top-of-the-line devices from brands like ResMed and Philips Respironics. Call now and get one of these overstocked CPAPs for a fraction of the price. We'll even give you free next-day air shipping. Call 1-800-500-5671. The best part? No insurance needed. We're giving out these CPAPs at prices so low, they'll cost less than your copay and deductible through insurance. CPAP.com has shipped over 1 million orders and has the world's largest selection of CPAPs and accessories. With no retail overhead or costly middlemen, we're the best way to get comfortable, effective sleep apnea equipment at incredibly low prices. Again, CPAP.com has overstocked premium CPAPs. Call now to get a ResMed or Philips Respironics machine for a fraction of the price with free next-day air shipping. Call 1-800-500-5671. Hurry. When these overstocked CPAPs are gone, they're really gone. That's 1-800-500-5671.
If you're aged 59 and a half or older with a 401k plan and still working, stop what you're doing and call Arlington Capital Management at 855-471-5796. They'll help you actively manage your 401k, show you strategies to avoid major declines, and capitalize on opportunities. There are benefits with age, and this is one of them. At 59 and a half, you're entitled to new opportunities in the investment investment world that can dramatically improve your results and even lower your fees. Call 855-471-5796 now and take the first step toward getting more out of your retirement assets. The team at Arlington Capital Management proactively explores the market, our economy, and all of the variables that offset your investments. Call 855-471-5796 now for a complimentary consultation. That's 855-471-5796 or visit arlington-capital.com. You worked hard to accumulate your nest egg. Now, it's time to put your money to work for you.
5:57. Let's get an update on your early morning ride around town in the Alarm Detection System Traffic Center. The latest on your commute with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The Edens Expressway is clear right now. The inbound Kennedy has a slow pocket from the River Road toll to Canfield. 21 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 20. Inbound Eisenhower delays start at Wolf Road. 41 minutes, Thorndale to the post office already. Outbound 30. Northbound I-55 is jammed. 52 to Black Road. 2 right lanes are blocked to clean up a truck crash. You see it on the Travel Midwest Jam Cam. Then inbound Stevenson has delays resuming around First Avenue. It is 46 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 5 to 34. Ryan is 19 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 24 minutes, I-80 to the merge. Bishop Ford, 22. Traffic is a service of Lowe's. Pro customers at Lowe's save 5% on every purchase every day when you use your Lowe's Business Credit Account. That's 5% on all purchases in-store or online. Subject to credit approval, U.S. only. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues after a full update from Fox News. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
A windy day with gusts up to 30 miles per hour. More clouds than sun with a high 80. Partly cloudy, breezy night, low 44. Mostly cloudy skies tomorrow with a high 58 to a low 46. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560. The Answer.
Mostly clear skies, 70 at O'Hare. The news, a service of Accountemps, the leading temporary staffing agency for accounting, finance, and bookkeeping professionals. In fact, 9 out of 10 of their customers would recommend them to a colleague. Call them today or visit Accountemps.com to learn more. Accountemps is a Robert Half company. In the Nissan of St. Charles newsroom, Nissan of St. Charles, home of the Lifetime Advantage warranty at 5:59. Here are the stories we're following at this hour. Special counsel will take over the Russian investigation. Former FBI Director Robert Mueller has been chosen. Fox with the latest on that developing story in a moment. There's a path of downed trees and missing shingles from the Quad Cities to the Chicago suburbs after storms tore through the area last night. An autopsy is planned for a suburban Wheaton man who died after tumbling over a railing at Wrigley Field. The mother of a 16-year-old Chicago girl found dead last year in Markham is suing the classified website Backpage.com. The Illinois budget bargain falling apart again in Springfield. It was the Cubs over the Reds. White Sox fall in Anaheim. 12-8 to the Angels. Miguel Gonzalez allowing 5 runs in 5 2/3 innings of work. Bruce and Sean continue after a full update from Fox News, WIND Chicago News Time. 6.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. Democrats got what they want. A special counsel investigating Russia's meddling in the 2016 campaign. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says he now has significantly greater confidence with former FBI Director Robert Mueller leading the probe. Fox's John Decker is live at the White House.
Just hours after the Justice Department appointed Mueller to oversee the investigation into ties between President Trump's campaign and Russian officials, House Oversight Committee Chairman Jason Chaffetz questioned the move.
Where is the actual crime that they think they need a special prosecutor to prosecute?
House and Senate Democrats applauded the decision. In a statement, the president said there was no collusion between my campaign and any foreign entity. I look forward to this matter concluding quickly. Dave?
Now, John Rod Rosenstein will go to the Capitol today for a closed-door briefing with senators. He's the Deputy Attorney General who appointed Mueller to lead this investigation. He'll also be questioned about his recommendation for the firing of former FBI Director James Comey. Racial strife in Tulsa.
No justice for
Protests broke out after a jury acquitted a white police officer in the shooting death of a black man last year. Fox's Tanya J. Powers has more live.
Well, the jury, which included 3 African Americans, deliberated for 9 hours before returning with that verdict. Officer Betty Jo Shelby says she shot Crutcher out of fear, Terrence Crutcher, because she says he didn't obey commands to lie on the ground and appeared to reach inside his SUV for what she thought was a gun. His father disagreed with the jury.
Let it be known that I believe in my heart that Betty Shelby got away with murder.
Defense attorneys say the DA rushed to charge Shelby for political reasons, Dave.
Tanya, a rock star, has died. Chris Cornell found dead last night after a Soundgarden concert in Detroit. Sudden and unexpected. Cornell was 52. No cause of death given yet. Fox News Radio. Fair and balanced.
By now, you've figured out a fact of American life. The mainstream media hates President Trump. Where other presidents have been given a pass, President Trump is held to a different standard. They don't seem to want to report anything he does good. Instead, they appear to want to tarnish anything good and paint it with a negative brush. You know, sometimes they're just unable to disguise their disgust for all he stands for. Making America great again? Yeah, maybe they really don't get it or don't want it. That's why you have us. And that's why more of you are counting on us to get your news. AM 560. The Answer.
The Bolingbrook Golf Club, it is the location of our annual golf outing this year, sponsored in part by Joe Cotton Ford, but there's more than just golf at the Bolingbrook Golf Club. Celebrate Independence Day at the Bolingbrook Golf Club this year, complete with food, fun, and fireworks, and you can find all the details about their 4th of July celebration at BolingbrookGolfClub.com. That's BolingbrookGolfClub.com.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Buying a new tractor? You owe it to yourself to visit your LS Tractor dealer. LS Tractors give you a lot more tractor for less money compared to other brands. For starters, LS Tractor comes with more select features as standard equipment. They make operating your tractor easier with better performance to get more work done quicker. Compare and you'll know who gives you more tractor for your money. LS Tractor. Excel in your field. Learn more at lstractorusa.com.
Visit Abbey Equipment in Streator and get more tractor.
It's time to gear up for summer fun. The Ready to Ride sales event is here. Looking to ride the waves? Check out our selection of Sea-Doo watercraft. Want to tear up the trails? Shop our selection of Can-Am ATVs and side-by-sides. Or rev up for open road adventures with the latest Spyder Roadsters. Stop in now and save up to $3,500 on your ultimate warm weather adventure machines. Visit Dockside Marine in Wilmington. Offer ends soon. Restrictions may apply. See dealer for details.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Kelly Financial Services, helping you secure your financial future today. Visit kellyfinancialservicesinc.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
You know, Bruce, I've come to love the interviews.
Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy. Yes. Why have you come to love
I just love them. You know, I never get a chance to talk to smart people. I'm stuck here with you.
I get it.
I'm kidding,
No,
ladies
it's
and gentlemen.
okay.
This is what I do with my wife.
Well, let's bring in a smart person. Alexis Simendinger at A. Simendinger, Simendinger. She's the White House correspondent for RealClearPolitics.com. So
Exciting time to be a White House correspondent.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
Good morning.
So I have really gotten into the weeds on this Mueller thing. I even know how to pronounce his name. You think I'd know how to pronounce his name, but since he was the FBI director for 12 years under 2 administrations. So, Alexis, he seems like the straight shooter that everybody wants because it's been chaos up till now.
It certainly has alleviated some of the concerns immediately on both sides of the political aisle in Washington because he is a known factor, as you point out, and for such a long duration through such a wide variety of cases, and his accomplishments are very well known and reassuring to a lot of lawmakers, as well as analysts who were just watching and worrying about the state of the country and whether this administration could keep steaming ahead the way it had been.
I have a question. What does, in the end, we kind of lose sight of what the actual accusation is. And I want to know, what does collusion look like? What is it about collusion that is somehow impeachable? Is this the first time? I mean, I remember distinctly when Barack Obama was working with Netanyahu's opponent. Is that collusion? What does collusion? I don't understand what the accusation and where is it wrong? What's the violation here?
Well, your question is probably emblematic of a lot of confusion that a lot of Americans have about what it is that's being probed and studied. And just simply to explain, the beginning of this investigation was what was Russia doing to interfere with our 2016 election in the United States, and what extent of tools and mechanisms were the Russians using or cutouts for the Russians using to interfere with the election. From that, the FBI expanded the investigation that former Director Comey was discussing to include allegations that there was collusion between Russia or Russian officials and those who were working for the Trump campaign or offering advice or analysis to the campaign. And there was no suggestion at the time that collusion was illegal within the Trump campaign, but whether the Russians themselves had done something to interfere with our election. It was an intelligence investigation, right? So from that, the president, the now president, objected strongly, said there was no collusion, and then just wouldn't let that go as the investigation continued at the FBI and then on Capitol Hill among a variety of committees. Why we've gotten into impeachment is a separate question, and that is, did the president's agitation, his objection, his discussion of what was going on in the investigations lead him or anyone else working for him to try to cut off the investigation, to obstruct justice, to impede an investigation? And the reason why people leaped into the breach to discuss impeachment so early is because impeachment is a political solution to a problem that is in the Constitution described as high crimes and misdemeanors and has been interpreted in the past, either under Nixon or we certainly experienced it with Bill Clinton, to be some form of obstruction, and that's why people ended up where they are now.
We're talking with Alexis Simendinger, the White House correspondent for RealClearPolitics.com. Yeah, when you get to impeachment talk, I mean, that's the goal of the Democrats, but it seems like the Republicans right now actually are able to take a cleansing breath by having this guy who seems to be the straightest shooter around. I mean, one of the problems is, and we don't really have time to get into the weeds on this, you know that Mueller is tight with Comey. I mean, those two came in together and went against George Bush when John Ashcroft was in the hospital, and Comey was threatening to resign over the extension of the surveillance program of terrorists. But that's getting a little bit into the weeds. One thing that I'm really concerned about, and the Republicans and the Trump administration should be concerned about, is what happens with these special counsels or special prosecutors or independent counsels or whatever you're going to call them, because you can wind up getting into a situation, for example, where you had Patrick Fitzgerald investigating the outing of Valerie Plame as a CIA agent, and it turns out that it's basically the cover-up of a non-crime. Everybody knew who had outed Plame. It was Richard Armitage, and you wind up getting Scooter Libby in jail. And these things go on, and they're a cancer on an administration. Alexis?
Well, I don't want to get into the weeds too much, but Patrick Fitzgerald was a different kind of special counsel. He was actually part of the Justice Department when was assigned as a representative, an employee of the Justice Department to conduct that probe. What it is that is happening now is a regulation under the Justice Department that allows the Attorney General, or in this case, because Sessions...
Okay, Alexis, if I can interrupt you for just 1 second on that. No, I mean, the problem is nobody really knows where this goes. And even Mueller works at the behest...
Wait,
okay.
I was going to say to you There is the ability to know to some extent because under the regulations of the Justice Department, it is prescribed by Rod Rosenstein, the deputy AG. He has described to Mueller what it is that he can do, and Mueller will report to him.
Yes, that's the problem. One of the phrases is other related matters. That seems like what his mandate is. That could mean just about anything, and that's the problem here. Yes, we see. It seems like it's going to be circumscribed very carefully, but we don't really know what it's going to lead to. It's at least an interesting question to ask. Yes, the question is. Well, I'm asking you. I'm leading the witness here, Alexis. I mean, it is possible that this could get far afield.
Well, it's gonna take a long period of time. It usually takes millions of dollars, and Mueller will be able to assemble a staff, a completely independent staff, and he will be dictating to them where they go. And separately, everyone expects the FBI investigation to continue, as well as the investigations on Capitol Hill. So if you're talking about a wide spectrum of people wandering around and asking questions about everything under the sun, you are correct.
All right, I have a simple question that Bruce sucked all the air out of that question. Is there an election in which Saudi Arabia has not colluded with a Clinton or a Bush, number one? Number two, hasn't Russia tried to influence one of our elections since Vladimir Lenin was standing on a soapbox? Where's the news? Where's the drama? Of course they've trying to influence in any way possible on both sides of the aisle. I still have a problem with the ultimate accusation.
Well, let me just add to you that in the reporting that I've been doing since the 2016 election, the range of officials, Republican and Democrat, who are extremely concerned about what Russia was able to do and what the FBI has said Russia is continuing to do, has raised a lot of eyebrows in terms of what it is that they know about what Russia is doing. So I take my cues from the alarm from those who are in the intelligence world from both parties who have said that this cannot be condoned, it can't continue, and that the United States, no matter what party, should object very strongly to what Russia is doing.
Alexis Simendinger, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Alexis Simendinger, White House correspondent for RealClearPolitics.com. Now, I got to tell you one thing right here.
We're going to have it out now?
This is Vito Corleone talking to Sonny right now.
All right, go ahead.
After the meetings with the Tataglia.
If I ever in front of somebody else.
Yeah, exactly.
well,
exactly.
Listen,
don't make me lose face.
I told you before.
You know how sensitive I am?
I told you before I have ADD. You're going on and on.
Around.
I don't even know what the question was. Does anybody know what the question was, Bruce asked? It was a paragraph
All
of nonsense.
You ask are things that make sense.
All right.
I ask the things about the going to the nitty-gritty,
I mean,
the weeds.
my word. What color? Does boxers or brief, Mueller? I don't know.
My God.
Everything's collusion.
I'm trying to
These
look
countries
smart.
have been colluding. Saudi Arabia is a very good point. Who haven't they colluded with?
Of course.
They've given the Bushes money. They've given the Clintons money. They give everybody
let me ask
money.
You this.
Is that collusion?
Why wasn't there an independent counsel for all the secret side deals regarding the Iran nukes? Why wasn't there a special counsel
you're
for
trying to
how
hang
the
the guy.
IRS was targeting the Tea Party?
Why
not?
isn't there a limit on money?
And you want
and
to
influence.
You want to talk
you
about
want to eliminate collusion? Eliminate the money and
you want to
influence.
talk
Let's
about,
not call it free speech.
You want to talk about obstruction of justice? As Andy McCarthy said in National Review yesterday, he said President Obama in April of 2016 said of the Hillary Clinton investigation, "There's nothing to see here. Yeah, she was a little careless. Bango, it's done." 2 months later, what does Comey say? The exact same thing. You don't think that Comey was taking his marching orders from President Obama here? Is that any worse than what Donald Trump did with Comey? I say no, sir.
Who's got the blue dress and where is Linda Tripp? And by the way, if your analogy of The Godfather is right, that makes you Don Corleone? Yeah. I don't think so, brother.
Let's go to Mike from Iowa. Hi, Mike.
Good morning. What do you think? She said other matters or Bruce, you said other matters in the investigation.
Somebody did. I don't even know.
Well, does that include the investigation into the Queen of Cackles and her court?
Well, that's a very good question. That's a good question because as you broaden this investigation, and thank you so much for the call, Mike. As you broaden this investigation, what you want to look at Comey memos? Well, what about Comey's memos after Loretta Lynch met with Bill Clinton? Why is it that Comey wound up taking the matters into his own hands?
Because human beings have an agenda. He has an agenda. He's been a Democrat. He is a Democrat.
Trey Gowdy was on with Martha McCallum the other day, and when
distracted
he says
by his hair.
When he says he is referring to Comey. Listen to this.
He had access to information that your viewers don't have, and they may not ever have because it is classified. But trust me when I tell you this, Martha, I know what it was. And I have been a critic of Jim Comey in the past. But he made the only decision he could have made with respect to appropriating that decision away from the Department of Justice and making the decision himself. And history will be a hell of a lot kinder to him than the Democrats were at the time.
I only take away from that you're suggesting that there were more entanglements between the Clintons and perhaps the Justice Department than everyone understands.
You're very perceptive.
I don't know how Mueller gets from Russia to Loretta Lynch and Bill Clinton on the tarmac, but I'd certainly like to find out.
Yeah, a politician that says, trust me, is like a salesman that says, I'll tell you the truth.
Coming up, we'll take your calls on the
Stay on the line, Mike.
Pro answer line, 312-642-5600, 312-642-5600. Going to have a check of traffic and the weather. Aren't we?
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM 560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Cue the music, kid. You know what? I distracted him with all my dating advice. Here we go with the weather. Today, windy and warm with more clouds and sun. High 80. Last day, it's going to be nice for a few days. Tonight, partly cloudy, breezy and cooler, low 44. Are you kidding me? Tomorrow, mainly cloudy, breezy and cooler. The high is only 58. Low tomorrow night, 46. Saturday, Bruce Wolf's going to get rained on a little bit in the morning, then real heavy when he's around hole number 3 because he plays slow. Now we're going to go to Jim Telemonte. Get him out of my way, Jim. Get him out of my way.
Good morning, Sean. Take the outbound Edens. It's clear, but inbound, we're now seeing delays. Peterson at the junction, 23 minutes. Actually, just went up. It's jamming up from Toohey to the junction. We got a problem. There's a gate malfunction going from the Edens to the Kennedy Express lane, so all the Edens traffic goes into the locals. It's backed up to Toohey. 30 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose. Outbound, it is fine at 19. Kennedy, 30 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 22. The Ike, 44 minutes. Thorndale to downtown, outbound 32. Northbound I-55, it's brutal. Delays first 52 to Black Road, then Weber to 53, then the Stevenson. It is already an hour and 8 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive and 56 minutes from the Tri-State. Clear outbound. The Ryan is 20 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State stop and go from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. The other tollways are fine. Northwest Indiana's good. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity, sponsored by Upstream-Ideas.com. When a culture celebrates, it begets. An internal FBI report obtained by Paul Bedard at the Washington Examiner finds the D.C. press corps Dem politician Combine's neutral to laudatory review of Black Lives Matter rioters makes us less safe by making police less safe. The FBI reviewed 50 murders of police officers in 2016 and found in 14 of the cases the offenders simply wanted to kill police. The assailants, inspired by social and or political reasons, believed that attacking police officers was their way to get justice. The former mayor of Baltimore created a safe space for rioters in the wake of Freddie Gray's death. That has left her successor crying to the FBI for help in combating Baltimore's 20-year high murder rate. Chicago Mayor Tiny Dancer scapegoated the police locally and brought Obama Attorney General Loretta Lynch to town to tell the nation they were all racist. After more murders in Chicago last year than in New York City and LA combined, Chicago saw a 45% increase in murders in April as compared to April of last year. When you treat police like the bad guys, you embolden the bad guys.
A good parking lot is essential to a good building and a good business.
This is Kevin Berquist. My company is SKC Construction, home of GreatParkingLots.com. Great parking lots. The name says it all. We make your parking lot great. We are an industry leader in seal coating. You can trust our company to do the work for your company. We have the same traditional values as you. We use a process and application that makes sure you get a great job that lasts a long time. I guarantee you'll have a good experience. Go to our website, GreatParkingLots.com. Check it out, GreatParkingLots.com.
Go to GreatParkingLots.com. Schedule a free inspection and get a quote to make your parking lot a great parking lot. Save the expense. Fix, don't replace. Contact SKC Construction now for commercial parking lot seal coating and maintenance. SKC Construction, home of GreatParkingLots.com. GreatParkingLots.com.
AM 560, The Answer. Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy. Let's go to Mike on the north side. Mike?
Come on, baby.
Mike.
Talk radio.
Good morning, guys.
I love it.
Good morning, guys.
Sure.
Listen, Sean, you got to quit picking on Trump. It was either him or Hillary.
Mike.
This is it. You got to work with it.
Mike, you sound like a guy. You sound like a guy, and I
Thanks,
hope
Mike.
I met you in the past. You sound like a guy that used to go to these games I used to go to years ago in the warehouses when you kind of knew they were rigged. You know what, Bruce? I don't like playing rigged games. I like flipping the table over. So if you got a rotten tooth, you want to put Ambisol on it or you want to rip it out? So when the question on the screen was, would you rather have Hillary or Trump? Yes, I want to face an opponent than a saboteur. Yes, I want the Hillary versus Trump. Because the policies would have been the same, and we could have fought them head on. Instead, we're being flanked by our own party. The Republicans are the one that are ruining us, not the opponents in the Democrats. Now give me Candace.
Well, can I dismantle
No.
Candace? What? Are you get
No, I'm
everybody? Okay. Hi, Candace.
I got 3 points.
Wait. First of all, I want to ask you, do you still believe Seth Rich was murdered by the Democrats?
Yeah, of course I do.
No, you don't. You got to read. I want you to read the Washington Examiner, look at Seth Rich, and I want you to call back tomorrow about this and tell me that it. Oh, okay. All right.
Don't
All
upset
right.
her because I'm
Just
not going to
told-
be able to pull
she
her
just
off
told me
you.
to stop it.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and make your 3 points.
I got 3 points to make.
Okay.
Democrats don't report or entertain what they don't agree with. And if the shoe was on the other foot, and we all know from the past 8 years, anything that they didn't want out, they didn't report. That's why Obama's not in jail. And you know he did about 12 different things.
Agreed. Next.
I could never be a reporter because to be a reporter, you have to be basically compromise, the truth. And I mean, listening to that woman just made me want to barf because basically what she said was, but the Republicans are so. No, what they're trying to do is lynch somebody who's an outsider. Don't even try to tell me anything different because they sure as hell didn't care that Barack Obama.
There's no question you're right about this, Candace. And I enumerated some of these things.
You know where I'm going. Okay, stop.
All right, fine.
She's going to kick you.
The only two people I agree with at Fox News I even like are Lou Dobbs and Kimberly Guilfoyle. Okay, because everybody else is full. I can't stand Brett Baer. He is.
Oh,
fraud.
hey.
Listen, anybody, just because you have a smooth voice.
No, Brett Baer's a good man.
Give you credibility.
You're going to sell me on Spalding?
They shouldn't even be entertaining this stupid story. It's stupid. It's fraud.
What is stupid? The impeachment story? I agree.
Lou Dobbs selling Lou Dobbs selling
Thank you,
Keynesian
Candace.
economics as conservative is stupid. Lou Dobbs is a buffoon, not just because his head looks like a Spalding basketball either. Brett Baer is the man.
It's more a Wilson, I think.
I tell you, I love Brett Baer.
Thank you, Jan from Palatine. Hello, Jan.
Hi, good morning. Listen, we got to support Trump. He's our president. We got a lot of.
No, we don't. Don't do that. You got to support Jim Jones too.
Secondly, Comey's brother is one of the attorneys for the Clinton Foundation, and the Clinton Foundation hired all kinds of people that are all integrated into the government. So I think we should have more special prosecutors that look into the Clinton Foundation and everything else that's been going on.
Jan, I don't even trust Mueller that much, and he's the straight shooter. The reason I don't is that he is linked. I'm sorry. Go ahead. He's linked.
So I mean, he's only they don't have anything. They haven't had anything. They've been investigating for what 6-7 months.
10 months. They've got nothing. There's nothing to this, and that's why Trump was saying, in the private conversation with Comey, come on, there's nothing here. And now they're making a polenta of the whole thing.
Quit wasting the taxpayer money with all these attorneys, man.
There we go.
See,
thanks, Jan.
I like the
Appreciate
last
it.
half of what she said, but I don't follow men. I follow principles. I follow fundamentals. I follow my ideology of liberty and freedom. I don't follow men. What is this collectivist groupthink? We got to
Is this
support
some
them.
kind of homosexual
You cross
anxiety that
me,
you
I'll
have where you
pull
have
your
to
head off.
You have to protest too loudly that you don't follow men?
I can't decide if they hear me or not. Mike Scott's not answering me. I normally like when he agrees with me. He looks at me. You know what I mean? I don't like when he doesn't look at me.
Hey, we took care of 3 callers.
And we got out before the time.
We let one of them make a point.
Because you let me handle the first one. You with the questions. Candace, if she's not outside, I'm not helping you. You wouldn't stand a chance.
I have known Candace since back at the other station's days.
Wait till she finds out you got her sweater on.
Well, and she lived in Chicago, and all she wanted was for the cops to bust a few people's heads.
Greatest phone call by Candace ever is when we were talking about the
best
bicycle
of Candace.
paths. The bicycle paths in the city. And she said it's like driving around Beijing. Still remember it. Love it. Laughing. Great stuff.
You as the champion of the callers.
I tell you, I'm still shocked that I was asked to be here. You know, first time I filled out a W-2. What do they call those things? I've never had a job since I was 19. First time, I've always been the employee. I've always had my own business.
So you actually, this is the first
This
time
is
you
the
had to fill
first
out
time. I'm
here,
almost 50 years
a
old.
W-2.
First time. I don't know what that is. Yeah.
Is all your income subterranean? Do you report?
Start businesses, baby. If I can't do it myself, you think I want to be subjected to somebody else's opinion, somebody else's, job security is an illusion. You're at the behest of somebody else. I'd rather sail my own ship, which probably explains why I'm still in the same pond.
Not so bad. All right, more tomfoolery coming up after these words.
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm James Furr. I'm a 70-year-old Vietnam veteran, and I have hepatitis C. My main focus was to take care of hepatitis C. Taking Balance of Nature did other things for me. I was feeling more energetic. My mental acuity had increased. When I play golf, I would notice that bending over to line up a putt, I would have a bit of a struggle to stand back up. But even now, 10 years later, I stand up better than I did then. I will live happily with hepatitis C instead of feeling like I want to die because someone's trying to cure me of it. Thanks to Balance of Nature, I live a normal, happy, healthy, pain-free life.
Take Dr. Howard's Health Challenge and find out how to get 2 free sets of fruits and veggies. We'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
Oh, you hear me talk about MyPillow all the time, but that's because a good night's sleep is so important to our health, and I love MyPillow so much that I brought it with me here to Punta Cana. And for the month of May, you can still receive the 50% discount on the MyPillow 4-pack. That's 2 premium MyPillows and 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows. Now with MyPillow, you can move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need, regardless if you're sleeping on your stomach or your back. You'll get into deep sleep faster and stay there longer. No more waking up to a stiff neck. And our good friend Mike Lindell makes them right here in the USA using only American labor. You can wash and dry your MyPillow. They're hypoallergenic. And, of course, you get the 10-year warranty with a 60-day money-back guarantee. For the month of May, get 50% off that 4-pack by calling 800-489-0201. Use the promo code Amy or visit MyPillow.com. That's 800-489-0201, promo code Amy.
People who can afford a LASIK procedure sure are lucky. Imagine being able to throw away your contacts and glasses. Imagine waking up tomorrow with 20/20 vision. Too bad everyone can't afford LASIK. Well, guess what? There's a company that agrees with you. The LASIK Vision Institute is now offering dramatically low prices on high-quality LASIK to make it affordable for everyone. That means you get the latest FDA-approved LASIK technology for a fraction of what others charge. And if you call right now, we'll schedule a free appointment so you can discover if LASIK is right for you. Results may vary. Call 1-800-400-4098. Even better, call right now and you can get an extra 20% discount off our already low-cost services. We've already performed over 1 million procedures. Let us help you. Discover how you can get the quality LASIK experience you deserve at a fraction of what others charge. For your free appointment, call 1-800-400-4098. 1-800-400-4098. 1-800-400-4098.
AM 560. The Answer.
Macho YMCA.
Could be the Indian.
In the Navy.
Oh, yes.
Let's run down their top 10 hits of all time.
Well,
Casey?
Next, I would like to sing There Ain't Nothing Like a Dame. Okay.
You've got a whole section in your closet of those jumpsuits.
There ain't nothing like a dame. And the dame we're talking to right now is Lorraine from Lowell. Hi, Lorraine.
Hi. Hey, Sean, you're such a hit man. Why don't you give us a scoop on Trey Gowdy, what a rat he is?
Why is he a rat?
Because he headed up that Benghazi investigation, and he spent millions of dollars. You know what they found out? So they never did anything.
They never did anything. I'm not going to argue that point, Lorraine. I'm not going to argue that point at all.
What are you talking about? They found out that Hillary Clinton lied to the people on the tarmac.
What she means is nothing came of it.
Well, that's not Trey Gowdy's fault, is it, Lorraine?
That guy is no good.
Well, I'll tell you what, Lorraine. I saw your original comment that Trey Gowdy is in bed with the Clintons, and I have but one sentence to that. Was Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton at Trey Gowding's wedding?
They found out that Chris Stevens was over there trying to round up the weapons that they gave those rebels, that McCain gave them the
Okay, but you didn't answer the question.
Well, she's exactly right, because she's following history.
Right.
We armed our enemies.
Were the Clintons
okay,
at Trey Gowding's
but
wedding?
Were the Clintons at Trey Gowding's wedding? Because the real connection, the real guy that supported the Clintons isn't Trey Gowdy. The guy who testified before Congress in '91 about Clinton's Community Reinvestment Act is Donald Trump.
Oh, of course.
Donald Trump has
Thank
been an associate of the Clintons for decades.
Did you notice who didn't get prosecuted? Even though he promised that he was going to prosecute Hillary Clinton during the debates, he turned to her and said, "You're going to jail." Yeah. No, she's not going
It's
to jail.
all a big show. And Lorraine's frustration is right, because she's right about who armed our enemies. She's right. We did.
Coming up after the news, we'll take more of your calls at 312-642-5600 on the Turnkey.pro answer line. Only on this show do you get a host, to wit, Sean Thompson, who will argue with you before you actually get a chance to make the point.
I'll argue with
It's the preemptive counter-argument.
One guy I won't argue with, Mike Scott.
So I toss.
It's okay. I'm going to go in there and give you guys a massage a little later. 69 degrees, mostly sunny skies. We are in the Nissan of St. Charles newsroom. Nissan of St. Charles, home of the Lifetime Advantage Warranty. We're following developments out of Detroit this morning, where the Justice Department could sue Fiat Chrysler as early as the end of this week for allegedly installing software in vehicles meant to fool diesel emission tests. It's similar to the Volkswagen story, but sources say talks could be underway with the automaker and an agreement is still possible. Charges are pending after federal agents apparently shot a suspect during a drug operation in the northwest suburbs in West Dundee. The shooting happened overnight as agents from a drug task force were trying to arrest two men near Route 72 and Sleepy Hollow Road. The shooting victim hospitalized with non-life-threatening injuries. Special counsel is taking over the Russia investigation this morning. Former FBI Director Robert Mueller was appointed to the position yesterday by Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein. Chairman Richard Burr of North Carolina believes Mueller is the right choice.
This is, I think, a positive thing for the American people that you've got a former director of the FBI and a highly respected lawyer who can work for the acting attorney general.
Rosenstein himself will brief senators, all senators, on the firing of FBI Director James Comey later today. Protests broke out in downtown Tulsa, Oklahoma, after a police officer was acquitted yesterday in the shooting death of an unarmed black man. A jury found Tulsa officer Betty Shelby not guilty in the September 2016 death of 40-year-old Terrence Crutcher. A Navy admiral is going to spend time behind bars. The first ever active duty admiral to be convicted of a federal crime was sentenced to 18 months behind bars in San Diego. Rear Admiral Robert Gilbo admitted to lying about a 20-year relationship with a defense contractor. There's a path of downed trees and power lines from the Quad Cities to the burbs, Rockford to Peoria, after storms tore across western and northern Illinois overnight. An autopsy is planned later today for a Wheaton man who fell over a railing at Wrigley Field. Richard Garrity fell Tuesday night, leaving the Cubs' home win over the Reds. And a young girl is unharmed after a man stole a vehicle that she was sitting in on Chicago's near north side. Police say the child was in the back seat of that running car near Wells and Schiller when the suspect jumped in and drove off. Cubs score 5 in the second, and they hold on for a 7-5 win over the Reds. Angels sweep out the White Sox with a 12-8 win in Anaheim. The news service of Accountemps. Accountemps is the leading temporary staffing agency for accounting, finance, and bookkeeping professionals. In fact, 9 out of 10 of their customers would recommend them to a colleague. Call them today or visit Accountemps.com to learn more. Accountemps, a Robert Half company. 6:35 is our time. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager wonders where all you conservative voters are.
They must be very frustrated on the left. They've taken over the news media. They've taken over the entertainment media. They've taken over elementary schools, high schools, colleges, and postgraduate. They've taken over much of religion. And all these people are still voting Republican. And Donald Trump is president.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Cabela's Memorial Day sale is going on now. Family events, amazing deals. Stop in and save this week at Cabela's in Hammond and Hoffman Estates.
All Nissans are created equal. It's Nissan of St. Charles that makes the difference. At Nissan of St. Charles, we go the extra mile to make sure your happiness lasts as long as you own your vehicle. Every new Nissan or used vehicle we sell comes with our exclusive Lifetime Advantage warranty. So when you get your new Nissan at Nissan of St. Charles, you'll drive with peace of mind knowing it's backed by our exclusive warranty that lasts the lifetime of your vehicle. And be sure to ask about our Lifetime Tire program. Where else can you get a great deal on a new Nissan, a Lifetime Advantage warranty, and a Lifetime Tire program? The little things make all the difference. While all Nissans may be created equal, the difference is clearly Nissan of St. Charles. Located on North Avenue in the heart of St. Charles, or visit us online at nissanofstcharles.com. That's nissanofstcharles.com. Nissan of St. Charles. Experience the difference.
6:36, and a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Telemonti.
Like in Long Grove Road is closed 53 to Surrey with a downed tree. Inbound Edens, it's jammed. Church Street to the junction. Traffic from the Edens can't get to the Kennedy Express lanes because of gate problems. With all the traffic going at the locals, it's 45 minutes Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 20. The Kennedy, 42 minutes O'Hare to downtown, outbound 27. The Eisenhower's 49 minutes Thorndale to the post office, outbound 35. The Stevenson, an hour and 15 minutes 355 to Lakeshore Drive, an hour 2 from the Tri-State, outbound 42 minutes to 355. Ryan, 24 minutes 95th to downtown, northbound Tri-State delays. Southwest Highway to LaGrange Road, Plainfield Road to the Hinsdale Oasis. It's jammed from Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue Curve. Traffic Service of Farmers Insurance. When your journey takes an unexpected turn, it helps to know someone who can get you back on the road. With over 89 years of experience at Farmers, they've seen almost everything. They know how to cover almost anything. Find an agent at farmers.com. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Windy, warm. More clouds than sun later on today. Will start mostly sunny. We'll top out near 80, and then temperatures between 6 and 8 o'clock will drop off the table. We'll go from about 70 to about 50 over those 2 hours. We'll hit a low of 44 overnight and only have a high of 58 tomorrow. Currently 70 at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 7. Continuous news coverage at 560theanswer.com. With Dan and Amy in Punta Cana, Chicago's Morning Answer continues next with Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson on AM 560 The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Tasty Catering. The best picnic food in Chicago comes from tastycatering.com.
Your money. Find out how to keep more of it and live debt-free. Tonight on The Dave Ramsey Show, starting at 7 on AM 560. The Answer.
Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy. Give us a call on the Turnkey.Pro answer line, 312-642-5600. It's the only show in which you'll have the co-host, i.e. Sean Thompson, argue with you before you get a chance to make your point.
Bring it on.
And here's a little story here. McDonald's has apologized after upset viewers complained its television advert, this is in England, from England,
so touching.
Exploited childhood bereavement. The fast food giant's ad showed a boy talking to his mother about his dead father as he tried to find something in common with him. As they arrive at a McDonald's restaurant and he orders a filet of fish, the mother says, "That was your dad's favorite, too." Well, a lot of people got upset over this, the exploitation of bereavement. You know, I would have added something like,
Better than
your
a Chevis. That was your dad's favorite, too. The drunken bum drove off a cliff.
He goes to McDonald's. Your dad sleeps with the fishes now. I mean, the filet of fishes. So it's just...
Listen, you know, I've never this admiration for the Queen and Prince Charles. I don't like him. I don't like England. From the king worship to the monarchs to the fact that I know about what tried to happen, what they tried to do to my country here. I don't care. They're touchy. They speak funny. Stuart Varney annoys me with his nonsense supporting socialism again.
2 points. There's a value added to an English accent. That's why you have Nick Faldo doing broadcasts, because you believe a British accent more than you believe a Melrose Parkian accent.
Yeah,
I got to tell you that right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
How many British porn stars are there?
They're
good at nothing.
if they had teeth,
right.
you'd be able to do it. The second thing is that we need a king and queen.
Oh,
because,
not me, baby.
Yes, we do, because if we had one, it would be a substitute for the President of the United States, who acts as the chief executive and the king of the United States as well, because we invest so much power and authority in the president. It's ridiculous. We need the ceremonial queen.
At least we got a shot at not getting an inbred run in the country. And then all of a sudden, any mission they take, it's the whole country's mission. Get out of here, Prince Charles. And not to mention the old bag. Leave me alone. I don't want to hear about these limeys anymore.
All right. Well, we did declare our independence in 1776.
And not peacefully.
So
remember, they tried to kind of wipe us out? Yeah. No. I hold grudges, baby.
You don't care about football, so I'll read this. You don't care about sports, right?
No.
Giselle
Men in
Bundchen.
costumes
Tom
chasing
Brady
balls.
suffered a football-related concussion last year that nobody knew about, and he secretly gets concussions all the time, says his wife, Giselle.
I think she beats him. I've thought that for a while.
Well, she's taller.
Oh,
than
she beats him.
is,
She's
right?
mean. You could
Yeah,
see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, beats him.
She feigns this whole supermodel look. She affects this, but in fact, she's a very
Plus, he looks
tough
a little
dame.
twitchy when she's around. Like Barack Obama when Michelle would walk in a room. Twitchy. They get twitchy.
The opposing team soften him up for her, and then she comes home and says, "You had a completion percentage of only 43%." And
She's
then
like
she
the
knocks
great
him against the headboard.
Like the great Santinio wives. Just banging the football off his head. That's why he's so good at 40-something. He's afraid to go home.
It's tough for him to get inflated.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
That's another cheater.
So you don't even know what team he plays for,
I don't
do you?
care about any.
You don't
Men
care
in
about
costumes
sports.
chasing balls.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous to me. And I told you before, what really makes it stupid is when people pretend there's like some sort of home team allegiance. These guys don't know where they're playing. They don't care where they're playing. And 90% of them rent. And as soon as the season's over, they get the hell out of here.
You're like the Melrose Park Seinfeld, because he would always say, we're rooting for people based on the laundry they're wearing, because they change.
It's ridiculous.
They change teams.
Come on, I don't even care about these kids. You know, God bless them. I love when kids and when guys who have no other thing make a ton of money. But I wish somebody would pull them aside. You know what's disgusting me about football in particular? How they're all broke. You get paid all this money. Yeah. 7 years later, you're opening the
you're
door
worried
for me
about
at
that. You
Caesars.
should be the financial advisor.
Well,
for
I
all
mean,
these
I don't.
people.
They just need a guy to say, "Hey, dummy, stop borrowing against future earnings." Kind of like the country.
I'm not worried about the football.
The country's one big NFL player.
I'm glad I'm with you right now, because I feel a little guilty. I never like playing fantasy football or
I don't
fantasy
even get it.
baseball. Well, to me, if it's fantasy, it's masturbatory. You're pretending that you own the team. You don't really own the team. But it's this vicarious thrill that's
The only
ridiculous.
thing I like about fantasy football is the nerd that invented or created it went
Made
from
a lot of money.
cubicle to like
Exactly.
living next door to Bill Gates. That's the only thing I like about this story.
Jeff from Mundelein. Good morning, Jeff.
Hey, Sean, what do you think about this? We go to a referendum, and everybody gets to vote on the bills. Keep the senators and the representatives in their districts and tell us how they feel we should vote on the bills, and that'll wipe out Washington.
You'd solve all the problems.
Thank you. So you want Jeff wants democracy.
We talked about this on Monday.
I don't want democracy.
No. We talked about this on Monday. Yeah. These guys don't live in their districts. They don't care. They don't care. They're in Caligula for nerds, Washington, D.C. Why do you think restaurants? What would you rather do? Own a small business in a struggling community or a whorehouse in Washington? Yeah. Washington's a boomtown. Yeah. That's where all K Street. How about these scoundrels? Half of these guys, I mean, it's so despicable to me. That's why, I love our own Dan Proft. I love him. Not a smarter son of a gun is there on radio. None. Brilliant. Tacticianer, political tacticianer. He wants to, freedom is money. Let's raise money. Let's beat them at their own game. That's one approach. But see, I have kids. I'm worried about their future. And grandkids yet to meet. I'm worried about their future. I don't want to play a rigged game. I want to flip the table over.
One final
question.
question.
Every congressman, you stay here. This way, when I don't like what you vote, I walk in your house and I punch you in the forehead.
What?
Because the midget, the Puerto Rican socialist, Luis Gutierrez, he's my congressman.
Sure.
You ever call his office? Talk to his cousin Chewy on the phone? They could care less what you have to say about anything.
So one final question before we go to break, and you'll have time to think about it during the break.
Go ahead.
Do you think Mitch Trubisky should start for the Bears this year?
I don't even
know. We'll
who
talk
he
to
is.
Sean
He's
Thompson
the equipment manager
about
for all
that after these words.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Time for the weather for all of you sports nuts out there. Okay, today's windy and warm with more clouds and sun, high 80. Tonight, partly cloudy, breezy and cooler, low 44. That's outrageous. Tomorrow, mainly cloudy, breezy, cooler, high 58. Low tomorrow night at 46. You know, these athletes are right. When you're not playing a sport and getting paid in Illinois, get the hell out of here.
You know that the athletes, what I love about the athletes is they don't really care. They're not fans. No, it's their profession. Like Peanut Tillman, he doesn't play fantasy football.
They just want to buy into a strip joint. You're not fooling me, athletes. Now let's go to Jim Telemonte, who will tell you where to park at the strip joint.
Good morning, Sean and Bruce. Eden Spur eastbound stop and go Waukegan Road to the Edens. The Edens is an inbound mess from Gulf Road to the junction. Traffic from the Edens cannot get to the Kennedy Express lane because of a gate malfunction, so the locals is their only option for the Kennedy from the Edens. So it's 49 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 20. And the Kennedys, now 57 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 19 from Montrose, 9 to the Express, outbound 37 minutes to O'Hare. The Eisenhower, an hour and 12 minutes already. Thorndale to downtown, 58 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 41 to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 15 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 42 minutes. The ride from 95th to downtown is 27 minutes. Lakeshore Drive still clear. Northbound Tri-State slow Southwest Highway to LaGrange Road, and heavy from the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis. Really slow from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue Curve. Adams Tollway slow from the Tri-State to the Kennedy. Reagan Tollway York to the Eisenhower. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
I'm Lou Dobbs. The air traffic control system may be privatized, awaiting economic updates today, and Nestle loses a court battle. Those stories next. Are you being intimidated by the IRS? Rapid Resolution Tax Group is a team of tax attorneys, enrolled agents, and tax professionals who've helped thousands of people with problems just like yours, and they promise not to let the IRS intimidate you. If you are an individual or business who owes at least $10,000 to the IRS, you can turn to them for help. Has your bank account been levied? Do you have years of unfiled tax returns? Let Rapid Resolution Tax Group intervene for you. They're accredited with and A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and they guarantee same-day contact with the IRS. If you qualify, Rapid Resolution Tax Group can work towards settling your tax debt for less, removing penalties and fees, and stopping levies and garnishments. Call the professionals at Rapid Resolution Tax Group at 800-601-2929. That's 800-601-2929. Earlier this year, President Trump proposed privatizing the air traffic control system. Now, Congressman Bill Schuster, chairman of the House Transportation Committee, is urging lawmakers to do just that. But Schuster's proposed overhaul of the air traffic control system getting a lot of pushback from union bosses and Dems in Congress. The index of leading economic indicators topping the financial reports today. Also ahead, an update on jobless claims and the new Consumer Comfort Index. A London court denies Nestle's attempt to trademark the shape of its Kit Kat candy bars in Britain. The court there said there's no evidence consumers rely on the candy shape when making purchases. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight at 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Growing up, your parents took care of your every need. Now you may be providing care for them. Are you worried about mom and dad living alone? Are they getting more forgetful or need help with daily activities? Why not consider a lifestyle that provides support services so they can enjoy as much independence as possible and maintain quality of life? Arboria of Long Grove is an all-new assisted living and memory care community, offering respectful assistance with activities of daily living and specialized memory care. The community features classically designed residential spaces, gracious hospitality services, amenities, and courteous, highly skilled staff to meet every need. Arboria of Long Grove is situated on 10 wooded and lushly landscaped acres off Route 53 in Long Grove. It's a vibrant yet peaceful environment filled with good neighbors, great social activities, and the finest in care. Schedule a tour today. Call 866-239-9601 or visit arboriaoflonggrove.com. That's arboriaoflonggrove.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be, well, like trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter is different. It doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them. With its powerful technology,
ZipRecruiter distributes your job everywhere it needs to be to find the right candidates. In fact, over 80% of jobs on ZipRecruiter get a qualified candidate in just one day. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, only ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
Used by businesses of all sizes, ZipRecruiter offers the most qualified job candidates with immediate results. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter free. That's right, free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/work. That's ZipRecruiter.com/work for your free trial. ZipRecruiter.com/work.
AM 560, The Answer. If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson. Well, President Trump has tweeted.
Seize the royal Twitter.
And he has said, let me scroll up here. Is this the turnkey scroller that I'm using? I like to plug them all the time.
Old people in technology. Glasses on, doesn't know what he's doing.
Okay, here it is. With all of the illegal acts that took place in the Clinton campaign and Obama administration, there was never a special counsel appointed, ! And he misspelled counsel. He spelled it COUNCEL. But I think that's apropos that he misspelled it, Sean, because what exactly is the special counsel? Is it an independent counsel? Is it a special prosecutor? Is it a breath mint? Is it a candy mint? It's anything that Mueller wants it to be, and that's what scares me. And John Podhoretz, whom I love and I tweet back and forth with all the time, says, does Trump really think that whining does any good? Yeah, I think so. I think it does. He is. And by the way, and I agree with Trump on this. Where was the special prosecutor for the secret side deals for Iranian nukes? Where was the special prosecutor for when the Tea Party was targeted by the IRS? I mean, this is...
How about when Clinton sold secrets or weapon secrets to the Chinese? You remember that, right when he left?
I mean...
Not to mention when he pardoned Mark Rich.
Mark Rich?
Give you $7 million and let me slide on 140?
Well,
yeah, all right, that's fine.
I mean, that was that was his going away present.
Where haven't the Saudi Arabians influenced our politics? They bought off the Bushes. They bought off the Clintons. They pay everybody. When hasn't the Russians tried to influence anything? When haven't we tried to influence other elections? There's nothing there. There's no blue dress.
Here's the whole thing. Is I think Trump thrives on this.
Well, if you're going to hang him on policy.
He loves the controversy. He loves to be in the middle of the drama. He's going to enjoy testifying before a grand jury. At some point, he's going to break bad on Mueller. He's going to call Mueller into his office and say, hey, could you let me off here because I haven't done anything? And then we will have an independent counsel who will be appointed to handle the independent counsel as well as Comey. It will go on into infinity.
I just want the Heather Locklear dye jobs and the spray tan to stop. Let's just start small and we'll build up to all the big stuff.
Well, now,
because if you're going to be mad at him, there's a lot of reasons to.
When you make a Heather Locklear reference, Locklear, you're almost in my era now. If you'd gone a little further back...
Come on, I grew up with a Farrah Fawcett poster on the wall. I know what's going on.
No, you have to go a little further back, like to Jane Mansfield for me.
I like her. How about her daughter now? She gained a little weight recently, but she's on one of those crime shows.
Who?
Jane Mansfield's daughter.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, Google it. Have the kid.
I remember when Jane Mansfield was decapitated in a car accident.
Let's not talk about the bad times. I'd rather talk about the cleavage when Sophia Loren was looking at it. Remember
that?
Love that shot.
One of the classic black and white photos is they're at dinner together, Sophia Loren and Jane Mansfield. And Jane Mansfield's cleavage is from this side of the table to the other side of the table. And Sophia Loren, one of the most beautiful women in the world, is giving her the evil eye sitting next to her. It's one of the greatest pictures ever.
That was one of my first
shot.
copyrights. I tried to copyright "Cleavage Makes the World Go Round" after seeing that, and they refused. They refused to let me do that. But anyway, if you're going to be mad at Trump, you want to, listen.
How do you know that photo? Because you're much younger than I am. How do you know that photo?
I'm smart. Me and Fredo. Yeah, okay. Here's the other thing. Be mad at the Keynesian economics. Be mad at the continued debt. Be mad at the spending. Be
you
mad
just
at
said
all
Keynesian.
That stuff.
You know that
but don't be mad at this non-story.
We have raised $4,500 for charity because every time you say Keynesian, the duck drops and $50 goes to charity.
Nice.
We haven't decided the charity yet. I think it's
also
to the independent.
Marx reference for you kids out there.
Yes.
Like our kid. You ask him who Groucho Marx is. Ask him. Ask him.
Our engineer's father listened to me doing
This kid's half the age of your shoes. He really is. It's
And
great.
he's good.
And he's got
He's
a
very,
job.
very
Very
good.
unusual for
Yeah.
kids of
No,
today.
he's very, very
We'll
good.
go into unemployment numbers. We'll tear apart the economy. This is the stuff I like.
All right, coming
baby.
up after 7, more calls. 312-642-5600 on the Turnkey.pro answer line. Remember, we are the only morning show. I finally figured out how to sell us as a
Tagline?
package here.
Cleavage makes the world go round?
That's just an ancillary business.
All right.
The main thing that we do is that we respond to the callers before they even get a chance to talk.
Love it.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
If you're an unincorporated business owner, it's too late for you. That is, if you've already been sued and lost your home, your car, and your family's life savings. But if you haven't been sued yet, there is still time to incorporate and protect your personal assets. And if you do it right now, you can incorporate in just 10 minutes, because Incorporate.com is now giving away a free incorporation guide to all business owners. For your free 10-minute incorporation guide, call now. 1-800-400-4817. Incorporation is the shield that protects your personal assets. Without it, you could lose everything. That's why at Incorporate.com, they just make incorporating or forming an LLC quick and easy. They don't provide legal or financial advice. If someone sues tomorrow, will you lose everything? Don't wait until it's too late. Hurry and call now for your free 10-minute incorporation guide while they're still giving them away for free. Call 1-800-400-4817. That's 1-800-400-4817. 1-800-400-4817.
The Bolingbrook Golf Club, it is the location of our annual golf outing this year, sponsored in part by Joe Cotton Ford, but there's more than just golf at the Bolingbrook Golf Club. Celebrate Independence Day at the Bolingbrook Golf Club this year, complete with food, fun, and fireworks, and you can find all the details about their 4th of July celebration at BolingbrookGolfClub.com. That's BolingbrookGolfClub.com.
If you're missing teeth or even a single tooth, dental implants are a fantastic way to regain your confidence, your smile, your dental health. Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. You hear a lot of people screaming at you about dental implants. Get it done in a day, or we can treat everybody, or hundreds of thousands of implants. Look, successful implants don't come from an implant factory. What you don't hear talked about is skill, treatment, and installation. These are what make for successful lifelong implants. And that's why you need to see Dr. Norouzi at Fox River Periodontics. Dr. Norouzi is the recommended choice of dentists that don't do implants. You need the experience, skill, and honesty that 24 years of dental implants brings.
This is Dr. Norouzi. I personally guarantee your happiness with your implants.
Call Fox River Periodontics, 630-232-7400, 630-232-7400, or just remember, implantsforme.com, implantsforme.com.
Insurance. It's a necessary part of your life. You want to protect what's most valuable to you and your family, like your home, your auto, your business, and even yourself. Sure, you can buy from an online insurance company that offers the lowest rate, but you want coverage and people you can count on. You want to talk to someone who understands who you are and your personal situation. A professional that cares. Debbie Luscombe, the Southwest Suburbs' leading State Farm insurance agent, is one of only 3% of State Farm insurance agents in Illinois that's a fully licensed mortgage professional. Imagine one place to get great service and savings on insurance for your home, auto, and business, and now your mortgage. Try that with one of those online insurance companies. Could you or your business benefit from a free custom insurance and financial checkup? Contact Debbie now for a free analysis to see if you're getting the best coverage and lowest mortgage rate. Visit DebbieOnBell.com. That's DebbieOnBell.com. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. MLS number 1529220.
AM 560. The Answer.
Bruce, things must be bad. They're bringing out Madeline Albright. She looks like a jack-o'-lantern, poor thing. Aging great.
Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson. Coming up after the news, we'll take more of your calls at 312-642-5600. We're running on empty right here, so we need you to fill the void.
Pushing it through the line. Mike
Yeah.
Scott's got everything. Don't worry, we're safe.
Let's go to Mike Scott right now in our very own newsroom.
Here are the stories we're watching right now. A teenage robbery suspect shot and killed by an off-duty Cook County Sheriff's deputy. Charges pending after federal agents shoot a suspect during a drug operation overnight in west suburban Dundee. Cubs hold off the Reds. Angels sweep the White Sox. And we have sunny skies this morning. WIND Chicago News Time is 7 o'clock.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. This is the single greatest witch hunt of a politician in American history. That's what President Trump has just tweeted moments ago after a special counsel was appointed to probe Russia's meddling in the 2016 campaign, just like Democrats have been calling for. He also tweeted, with all of the illegal acts that took place in the Clinton campaign and Obama administration, there was never a special counsel appointed. Now, Robert Mueller is being well received.
He has a great reputation. I think it's a good move.
He is unassailable in terms of his credentials, his background.
Republican Congressman Steve Scalise and Jason Chaffetz, though Chaffetz doubts that Mueller has much of a case to investigate. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
Former FBI Director Bob Mueller will have sweeping powers and the authority to prosecute any crimes he uncovers as he leads the investigation. California Congressman Adam Schiff is the top Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee.
I think there's a far greater chance with a truly independent counsel conducting this, and particularly someone of the stature of Bob Mueller, that the public is more likely to accept the result.
House Speaker Paul Ryan also praised Mueller. As for the White House, the president in a statement said there was no collusion between his campaign and any foreign entity. He said he looks forward to this matter concluding quickly. Dave?
John, protests in Tulsa. If you do not leave now. Police tried to disperse the crowd chanting no justice, no peace after a jury acquitted a white police officer of manslaughter in a black man shooting death last year.
Betty Shelby murdered my brother.
That's Terrence Crutcher's sister. Shelby says she shot him out of fear, saying she thought he was on drugs and he didn't obey her commands, and she thought he might have reached inside his stalled SUV for a gun. Crutcher was unarmed but did have PCP in his system and vehicle. Soundgarden fans may be in shock this morning. Waking up to find out singer Chris Cornell is dead, found in the bathroom of his hotel room after last night's concert in Detroit. Cornell was only 52. A representative says it was sudden and unexpected. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Mostly sunny, 69 degrees, 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott in the Nissan of St. Charles newsroom. Nissan of St. Charles, home of the Lifetime Advantage warranty. Charges pending after federal agents shot a suspect during a drug operation in West Dundee. Authorities say the shooting happened last night as agents from a drug task force were trying to arrest two men near Route 72 and Sleepy Hollow. Shooting victim was hospitalized. The other suspect was taken into custody. This morning, there's paths of downed trees and missing shingles from the Quad Cities all the way to Oak Brook and far south suburbs all the way to Rockford and Peoria across to Indiana this morning as strong storms hit the area. The National Weather Service looking into reports of a couple of funnel clouds, lots of thunderstorm damage. Forecasters hope to learn more later today about the gusty winds that may have topped 71 miles an hour. An investigation is underway after a 17-year-old robbery suspect was shot and killed by an off-duty Cook County Sheriff's deputy. It happened on Chicago's South Side at a salon where Rashad Wells and another person entered and announced a robbery. The woman deputy fired at the teen, and the second suspect took off. Chicago's top police officer, Superintendent Johnson, says protecting his officers and the rights of the public were guiding principles behind a new use of force policy unveiled yesterday. We get details on that story from AM 560's David Stewart.
Chicago Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson says the new police use of force rules developed over the past year with public input emphasize de-escalation first. He says deadly force would be a last resort, used only when there's an imminent threat of death or great bodily harm.
The new policies add language that strictly prohibits the use of force that is excessive, discriminatory, used as punishment or retaliation, or used in response to an individual exercising their First Amendment rights.
Before implementation, all officers will first be trained on the new rules of engagement. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
The man who co-discovered the structure of DNA has been disinvited from science lectures by the University of Illinois. School yesterday said they had questions about Nobel laureate James Watson's 2007 comments about the intelligence of Africans, and that forced their hand. Cubs over the Reds 7-5. Angels sweep out the White Sox with a 12-8 win in Anaheim. The news a service of Farmers Insurance. When your journey takes an unexpected turn, it helps to know someone who can get you back on the road. With 89 years of experience at Farmers, they've seen almost everything, so they know how to cover almost anything. You can find an agent at farmers.com. 7:04, time to check the climate of your business with aircomfort.com, providing the right climate for business since 1935. And a check of traffic and weather is on the way next on AM 560.
With all of his faults and the occasional misstep, the President of the United States has one more thing to hang his hat on. He's a promise keeper. He promised to fix the Obamacare problem, and after a few fits and starts, looks like he's doing it. He promised to bring jobs back to America, and no president has done better. He promised to return American leadership to foreign policy after 8 years of leading from behind. And he promised evangelicals he would take the restrictions off churches to let a pastor preach the way he wants. Hey, we're just getting started. For more, keep it here. AM 560, The Answer.
When you get in your car, you program your destination into the GPS. You need the best directions to get to where you want to be. The same is true for retirement. You need a voice to guide you along the way. And in Chicago, that voice is Jack Taboda. Join Jack every Saturday morning at 7 right here on 560 The Answer. Jack's nearly 40 years of experience can help make your retirement journey feel like a drive down easy street. Take that first step. Tune in Saturday mornings at 7 for retirement planning with Jack Taboda of Taboda and Associates.
Buying a new tractor? You owe it to yourself to visit your LS Tractor dealer. LS Tractors give you a lot more tractor for less money compared to other brands. For starters, LS Tractor comes with more select features as standard equipment. They make operating your tractor easier with better performance to get more work done quicker. Compare and you'll know who gives you more tractor for your money. LS Tractor. Excel in your field. Learn more at lstractorusa.com.
Visit Abbey Equipment in Streator and get more tractor.
It's time to gear up for summer fun. The Ready to Ride sales event is here. Looking to ride the waves? Check out our selection of Sea-Doo watercraft. Want to tear up the trails? Shop our selection of Can-Am ATVs and side-by-sides. Or rev up for open road adventures with the latest Spyder Roadsters. Stop in now and save up to $3,500 on your ultimate warm weather adventure machines. Visit Dockside Marine in Wilmington. Offer ends soon. Restrictions may apply. See dealer for details.
7:07. Let's get an update on the roads this hour in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Word on the north side and very busy roads with Jim Talamonte.
That's right, Mike. On the northwest side, Addison Street is closed right now between Oak Park Avenue and Sayre. There's a SWAT team at Addison and Newcastle responding to a situation there. The Edens is just a mess. Inbound from Dempster to the junction. Traffic from the Edens cannot get to the Kennedy Express lanes due to a gate malfunction. It's 54 minutes from Lake Cook to Montrose. Outbound 27. The Kennedy, an hour. O'Hare to downtown, 19 minutes from Montrose, 10 on the Express. Outbound, it's 27 minutes to Montrose and 45 to O'Hare. The Eisenhower, an hour and 12 minutes. Thorndale to downtown. Outbound, it's 41 minutes. The Stevenson, an hour and 14 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound, 52 minutes. The Ryan is 28 minutes. 95 to downtown. I-57, 28 minutes. I-80 to the merge. Bishop Ford, 55. The Jam Cam at King Drive. Just a crash in the right lane. Northbound Tri-State, really heavy now from 115th to LaGrange Road. The Stevenson to 47th and Cermak to the Grand Avenue curve. The other tollways also have some delays. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, windy and warm with more clouds than sun, high 80. Partly cloudy, breezy, and cooler tonight with a low 44. Then a breezy and cooler day tomorrow. Mostly cloudy skies throughout the day and night. High 58 and a low 46. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
72 at O'Hare, 71 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by M.J. Miller & Company Jewelers, where your old pieces can become new treasures. M.J. Miller, downtown Barrington.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy. And Sean, we got to follow Donald Trump's tweets this morning. I did want to get to other things. We're going to take your calls at 312-642-5600, the turnkey.pro answer line. And Sean will argue with Mike from Elgin before Mike has a chance to
Already
make his
got it.
point.
Yeah.
Before he has a chance to make his point, because that's what we do around here. But Donald Trump has tweeted this morning, with all of the illegal acts that took place in the Clinton campaign and Obama administration, there was never a special counsel. He misspelled counsel. He spelled it COUNCEL. Appointed. That's one tweet. Another one is, this is the single greatest witch hunt of a politician in American history! ! Now, here's the problem. He has tweeted this. He has tweeted this after we have named a new special counsel, Robert Mueller. He is actually tainting this investigation by saying this about Mueller. So we may need to appoint a new special counsel who will investigate Mueller and Comey, so that this goes on into infinity.
I thought I would be explaining to the voters what hoisted by your own petard meant. Apparently, we need to explain it to Trump.
Exactly.
And that's listen. You got to stop tweeting. Not every thought has to be expressed. And as far as the spelling error, I'm going to stick up for him because I use talk to text, and with my Melrose Park, Elmwood Park accent,
sure,
a lot of times it doesn't come out.
Oh, you're going to
properly.
blame it on the machine
He's
and not
talking
on
to
yourself.
text. Come on, he's got that. You do that.
You don't
accent.
think he types his own things?
No,
he talks
of course
the text?
not. And you know what I love about him? Pretty soon it's going to get so outrageous. He's going to be like, Barron stole my phone. Barron's got the phone. I don't know. I'm sorry.
See,
Melania, I don't know.
It all goes with my theory. He is thriving on this because he's the center of attention. He's in the middle of a controversy. And what the great thing is that it's all built on quicksand. There was no collusion.
Right.
He's actually right that there was no witch hunt.
And you know what else?
That this is a witch hunt, but he's going to be burnt at the stake.
You know what else I love about him?
Yes.
He's stuck with that male girdle so long that the public doesn't even know what one is anymore, and no one can spot it. But now, as far as Mike and Elgin is concerned,
okay,
he wants everybody. This is the mantra: give it a chance. Give it a chance. Well, did you want to give TARP a chance? Did you want to give quantitative easing a chance? 1, 2, and 3. Do you want to give shovel-ready jobs a chance?
Okay.
See, I don't want to give those things a chance.
You've made your
point.
point.
I don't want to give all this other nonsense, this funding of our government, infrastructure spending, and socialized medicine. I don't want to give it a chance.
You have made your point.
All right, bring him on.
You have countered Mike's argument before he has made it.
Go ahead.
And now we'll talk to Mike from Elgin. Hi, Mike.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
So you ready to argue with me, Sean?
I'm ready, brother. Go.
All right, let me tell you something.
Can you at least tag team me on this, Sean, so that I can get in on it?
Hold
Go
on,
ahead.
Mike. Bruce
Go ahead,
feels
Mike.
left out. He's
Well, I want you to-
insecure.
I just
He's
want you-
aging. You know what I mean?
I just
Everything's
want you to-
falling apart.
I just want you to tag me. I want us to be
He
like.
wants to argue with me. They're saying my name.
I
baby.
want to be like Dick the Bruiser and the
All right,
Crusher,
listen,
and
here,
you tag
let him
me.
talk.
Go ahead, Mike.
Sean,
Yes, brother.
Sean, stop it, man. I got to tell you something. This is your buddy, Mike Salemi from Casa de Pots.
Oh, Mikey, what are you doing, you handsome son of a gun? Mikey, will you tell Bruce this is how I've always been, even remember at Casa de Pots?
Hey,
Oh, how many guys got
let me
mauled
tell
in there?
I'm sorry I lied about wanting to argue with you. I wanted to call in to tell everybody Sean is one of the biggest-hearted, greatest guys you'll ever know.
Oh. See, that's nice. See, that's what I was telling
Thank you, Mike.
I haven't seen Mike.
Beautiful.
And I love him. Listen, I haven't seen him in 20 plus
I
years.
feel like I'm Ralph Edwards. And
what
this
did
is your life, Sean Thompson.
And I'm going to make you an honorary Melrose Park.
That's so nice.
I
of
am.
you.
I'm going to make an honorary Melrose Parker. Because when you're from our neighborhood, you may not see a guy for 20 years. You love him.
What do I have to do?
Because you earned it. We earned it. That kid's a great guy.
But I have
Are
to
you
go.
nuts?
I have to go through the hazing ritual with you.
That's all right.
So what
You could
do I
take
have to do to get into the fraternity here?
We're going to beat you up a little while.
You beat me up a little while.
No, I'm just
I'll
kidding.
drink at a .30 and fall down the stairs like I'm in a
Plus,
Penn State
you
fraternity.
would have never
right?
made a Friday night at Casa de Pots. But go ahead. We got
No way. Let's go to Frank from Elmwood Park. Hi, Frank.
Hey, Sean, I just have to ask you a quick question. I grew up in Elmwood Park. I graduated from high school 50 years ago. I was with my old buddies last night. How does a guy by the name of Sean Thompson claim to be from Elmwood Park?
No. I'm from Melrose Park, but that's
Thank
even
you,
more.
Frank.
Let's do Frank's story. So my mother was all Italian. She was gorgeous, my mother. Really, very Sophia Loren-esque. Beautiful. Italian from Melrose Park. She goes to Proviso East High School, where she didn't think men had blonde hair. And I'm not talking about the dyed blonde hair. So she sees my father walking through the hallways like Flash Gordon. You know, he's Norwegian. And my father and mother, that was my mother's first date. He waited 9 months to take her out. It didn't end well. In fact, it ended poorly. But she also...
He married the first girl he ever went out with?
My mom married the first guy. My
Oh,
dad
your
was a
mom did.
scoundrel. I think he
Okay.
still was dating while they were married. But anyway, she during their courtship, they went to go see a Sean Connery movie. She loved the name Sean. So she didn't like SEA on it. Made no sense to her. So she, being of common sense, spelled it properly. SHAUN. See?
There you go.
So now we're all
you
caught
know
up on
You know
me.
who I was named after?
Nobody cares. They're asking about me, baby.
I was named after Bruce Wayne, the Batman.
Really?
By my mother, and that's before
Batman's
the TV
after
series.
you.
It's before it's when Batman was just a comic book, or maybe even on the radio. But I was named Bruce Wayne after Bruce Wayne.
Well, one of us is named after a comic. The other one is Special Agent.
Exactly.
All right.
Chip from St. St. Charles. Hi, Chip.
Hey, you guys. I really enjoyed this new probe that they have going with. What's going to happen here is they're either going to find Hillary Clinton's campaign was dirty and was colluding with the Russians, or they're going to find absolutely nothing. And if you think the left is going crazy now, wait till that happens.
No, you know what's going to happen, Chip? Trump is going to be impeached and, may go to jail even because he tried to influence the prior investigation by Comey. That's what's going to happen. It's not about the underlying thing anymore. It's about obstructing justice.
We all should be going crazy. We all should be going crazy. Our government's been prostituted.
All right, we're going to pause right now and wait for the next Trump tweet to talk about. Meantime,
By Barron,
let's take a look at the traffic and the weather.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Well, Brucey, it took 4 days, but I stopped taking my headphones off when I have to do the weather. Today, windy and warm with more clouds than sun, high 80. Tonight, that's it. It's over with. You're going to have to dress like Bruce Wolf, and hopefully you won't put on your wife's sweater. Down to 44. Tomorrow, cloudy, breezy, and cooler. High 58. Low tomorrow night, 46. Saturday, Bruce gets wet. Storms start light in the morning, then heavy in the afternoon. Warmer, it's going to get up to 73, so you'll dry off, hopefully not get sick. Then down to 56. Now we're going to go to Jim Telemonte. Help me avoid the hybrids, which was where I parked my car in this parking lot.
Good morning, Sean and Bruce. On the northwest side, Addison is closed. Oak Park Avenue and Sayre got a SWAT team in Addison and Newcastle. The Edens inbound is jammed. Dempster to the junction. Traffic from the Edens can't get to the Kennedy Express lanes because of a gate problem. 56 minutes Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 31. Kennedy, an hour and 4 minutes O'Hare to downtown. Just 20 minutes from Montrose, 14 in the Express. Outbound 53 minutes to the airport. The Ike, an hour and 12 minutes. Thorndale to downtown, outbound 41 minutes. Stevenson, an hour 14, 3:55 to the drive. Outbound 52 minutes. The Ryan is 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishop Ford, a mess from 154th to King Drive, where a crash just cleared. Northbound Tri-State, stop and go 115th to LaGrange Road. The Stevenson to 47th at Cermak to the Grand Avenue curve. Reagan Tollway, very heavy also. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Trust is the single most important factor in hiring a contractor. Dependable Construction and its founder, Joe Barron, built their business over 3 decades by being trustworthy, tuck pointing, brick, and roofing. They're Joe's specialty. Joe started as a laborer and progressed to an expert tuck pointer and bricklayer. In addition to masonry and roofing, Joe and Dependable Construction have grown to become a full-service Angie's List and Better Business Bureau award-winning contractor for brick, masonry, and roofing on residential, commercial, or industrial projects. To any other type of remodeling or construction, you'll deal directly with owner Joe Barron. Call Joe Barron at Dependable Construction. Mention AM 560 and receive a 10% discount on most jobs. Call 773-244-1091. That's 773-244-1091 or visit tuckpointchicago.net. 773-244-1091 or tuckpointchicago.net.
Here's Jerry, Utah Hall of Fame tennis player, talking about balance of nature.
When you get to be a senior, my age, almost 77, you lose a step here, you lose a little reflex, you lose a little timing. But the thing I've noticed since I've been on Balance of Nature, I'm just as perky as ever. I don't get tired, and it's a wonderful feeling. I can play 4 and 5 hours of tennis a day, and up to that time, I couldn't do that. It's wonderful to know that every day you can get the fruits and vegetables that you need to be taking. To me, it's just marvelous.
Take Dr. Howard's Health Challenge and find out how to get the best offer they've ever given. 2 free sets of fruits and veggies. We'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
AM 560, The Answer.
Bruce Wolf, Sean Thompson, in for Dan and Amy. We're following Trump's tweets, and he says it's a witch hunt, but I got to take a cleansing breath and talk about something else for a second. Just see at Northwestern University, your alma mater, right?
Oh, yeah.
Northwestern University?
Sure, we used to go there when I needed clothes. Just beat up one of the guys walking to class and take it.
Sure, right on Sheridan Road. You'd
Yeah,
beat
I
up,
graduated with school with a guy's named Jack, and his name was Irwin.
Right, well, you know, because they're all trust fund babies anyway, so there's
Northwestern.
another.
Come on, walk around
outfit
snooty
better.
in my neighborhood. I'll have Carmi give you a slap.
Anyway, you know, I'm sure at the Medill School of Spin and at Northwestern University, they're all celebrating the fact that the Washington Post and the New York Times are exercising their First Amendment rights and trying to bring down Donald Trump. But the students at Northwestern themselves don't really like the First Amendment and freedom of speech because they disrupted a sociology class a couple of days ago to protest the visit of an officer from the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. This guy from ICE was only there to present information about immigration, and they protested, and he wound up leaving. So so much for the robust and spirited debate that the First Amendment vouchsafes, Sean,
Really?
because that's what's happening on campus nowadays. And this is my alma mater, Northwestern University, and they can go to hell.
You're just figuring out the hypocrisy of the self-described intellectual. I figured that out the first time I realized lawyers can argue both sides of the same case. That's when you figure scoundrels.
Here's another quick story right here. Chicago Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson announced a new policy on the use of force. I read this in the Sun-Times, and apparently, I think when the Tribune takes over the Sun-Times, they may actually be able to provide some detail on what the new policy is because it's a bunch of boilerplate about this. So I assume they've put in some new safeguards. I thought the old safeguards were good enough, but this reminds me.
They stuck this guy in that position, that superintendent. He's like
Right.
a bug guard. Just take it in the chin. And ever since he fainted, he lost a little weight. He looks wonderful, but he still doesn't have any answers.
Here's the problem. Why is Rahm Emanuel still the mayor of the city of Chicago?
Because he's bought it.
This is the guy who is a latter-day Jim Crow mayor. He disenfranchised the black voters, as John Cass pointed out. And he'd be sitting here instead of you today if I could have gotten him in here.
No,
you know
everyone
that.
understands,
Yeah,
and everyone
so-
wishes you could have. Turn your phone on, Cass.
No, so here's the thing. He disenfranchises the black voters by withholding the Laquan McDonald video. And you remember in the old days in the Jim Crow era?
So that's what did it, not the policies?
Well, in the
Come on.
the old days in the Jim Crow era, you'd have a literacy test to dissuade black voters from appearing at the polls and voting.
Why do that when you can buy 'em?
Well, Rahm has instituted an illiteracy test. He made sure that black voters were kept in the dark and didn't know what was going on with the Laquan McDonald video. And this guy is still the mayor of the city of Chicago.
And he disguised it as the Chicago public school system, which is brilliant. And here's the other thing. He's going to be the mayor until he doesn't want to be anymore. And we keep pretending there's other options. Then explain the entire Illinois Cook County process. And then we could talk about how guys like me, we leave our house when we want milk at night just to drive to DuPage. I'm exhausted. I barely made it back
What
for the
did
show.
you? What was your degree in at Northwestern? What did you graduate?
Listen, brother.
Yeah.
My college was the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
No pun intended. Let's go to Tom from Deer Park. Hi, Tom.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Hi.
I like what you're doing on the show. I hope it sticks after this stint. There's a lot of room on the air for you two. But the reason for my call, I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a leftist. I really don't like the label thing. But concerning the president, he's obviously deranged. I thought that before the campaign. He made it plain and evident daily during the campaign. And on a daily basis, both him and his administration have made it plain to me that he's deranged. And I've been in favor of him being impeached. Impeachment's political, but he's obstructed justice with Clark. He was going to bring on, obstructed justice with Comey, I meant to say. But then I wanted to bring up that they're talking about bringing Clark into Homeland.
Right.
That wants to have martial law, and Flynn getting $500,000 to enact policies for the Turks. It goes on and on and on. I really appreciate the way you two guys are covering it. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. I voted for Donald Trump. I have a feeling you didn't.
No, I wrote none of the above.
Okay, so I voted for Donald Trump because I take the Victor Davis Hanson tragic view of history. Yeah. And it's basically, and I love the Never Trumper.
It's not Never Trumper. I heard all the arguments of the lesser of two evils. It's not the lesser of two evils. It's the lesser of two stupids.
All right, so Trump is not Trump. Sean is now not only preempting the arguments of the callers, but he's preempting my own arguments.
I know where they're going.
I can't even.
It's the fourth day. I already know how you think.
I have basically lost control, and I quit.
And the people love it.
I'm done.
Next, we play cards. Bruce, bring your checkbook. Listen, we've heard these arguments because what that is, that's not really an argument.
Look,
that's a talking point.
Look, what do you mean? What? That's a talking point to say that it's a talking point. I've got an argument here.
Did you ever flip quarters with a bookie? Heads I win, tails you lose. You want to play?
We got Neil Gorsuch, Anthony Kennedy maybe leaving the court. It's possible Trump. I don't think Trump necessarily believes that he owes the conservatives anything. He may give us another David Souter.
Gorsuch hasn't done anything, and you're celebrating him. Did you not who put in John Roberts, who rewrote a socialized, seized 1/6 of our economy, turning us all into slaves to congressmen? That's where socialized medicine leads.
Buddy, I went to law school, and I know about Lewis Powell's
and if you went to law
opinion
school,
in the Bakke case. So don't lecture me on the way the courts go and how the
only
how
a
the
lawyer
Supreme
would put faith in another lawyer. The one thing you know about lawyers is you don't know anything about them, and they're going to decide on their own agenda. So, okay, it looks like he's going to be great.
Look,
and
I
hopefully
know
he will.
the history.
But John Roberts was sold to me the same way, and he screwed me
The Supreme
harder than
Court-
the Puerto Rican boxing coach Sotomayor ever could.
That's Mayor. The Supreme Court is replete with justices who came in and you thought they were going to do one thing and they did another.
Who's the guy that ate
I
the
guess
apple and
that.
lived with his mother? Breyer or Stevens? Which
It
one
is
was
Breyer.
that?
I think, yeah.
Put in by a Republican, right? Every day ate the apple and the core, lived with his mother.
I mean, Nixon.
And you're making decisions for me?
You thought
Get the
Nixon was a conservative, because he libeled
bureaucracy,
Helen
more spending.
Gahagan Douglas. Nixon, as Barack Obama said in the Bill O'Reilly interview, was a liberal. He gave us the EPA. He gave us the Bakke decision, thanks to Lewis Powell. He visited China.
Department of Education.
Yeah, all
OSHA.
that stuff.
Every bureaucracy. And that's why I call Trump Herbert Nixon.
Here's the thing
because
with Trump.
They believe in tariffs, falsified Keynesianism, and bureaucracy.
Trump may roll back the Obama years. That's all we can hope for. That's all we can.
It's a parchment promise. Anything he does can be undone because it's all done with paper. It's
All right.
nothing.
Coming up at 7:35, sports talk. We got to talk about Mitch Trubisky.
Trying to go for the Achilles heel, huh? All right. Go for it, baby.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Are you facing foreclosure, been foreclosed upon, in a bad modification, or just stuck in a bad mortgage? Well, we may be able to help you. My name is Lou Bridges. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Lou Bridges & Associates. We've been helping distressed homeowners like you for over 8 years now. We defend foreclosure actions. We bring claims against the banks and the servicers for wrongful foreclosure and other violations of mortgage servicing regulations. And we help people negotiate modifications of their existing mortgages, often including principal reductions. Give us a call. We provide free consultations. I guarantee you it will not be a sales pitch. We will give you our honest analysis, counsel, and advice regarding your options.
Hi, this is Rayanne from Lou Bridges & Associates. I am one of the loan modification processors here, and if you are in need of any additional information in regard to a loan modification, please contact the office.
Go to bridgeslaw.net or call 224-513-1231. That's 224-513-1231.
Remember, people, never give up the land. Fight for truth and justice. You do that, and I guarantee you'll never be alone.
The school year is rapidly coming to an end, and maybe you're looking back at this past year and you aren't too happy with your child's school experience. Well, now is the perfect time to start thinking about doing something different this fall. Don't send your kid back to a school that's you just aren't happy with. Start thinking about sending your child to a private school at half the regular price, thanks to halfpriceschools.com. At halfpriceschools.com, you can find local private schools from all over the Chicagoland area, including Arlington Heights, Romeoville, Aurora, Mount Prospect, just to name a few. And they're offering a full year of tuition at half the price with no catch. So make private school affordable for your family for the first time this year, and do it soon because these vouchers always sell out. Visit halfpriceschools.com. That's halfpriceschools.com.
This is Bill's yard, and Bill's a grill master, not a grass expert. Still, no weeds belong in this backyard barbecue kingdom. And with Scott's Turf Builder Weed and Feed, Bill's greasy thumb is just as good as a green thumb. Because Scott's thickens lawns to help crowd out over 50 pesky weeds. So Bill can defeat invaders, green up his lawn, and hold his spatula high. This is a Scott's yard. Pick up Scott's Weed and Feed today.
We don't just carry our boxes to their destination. We carry your business. We carry your growth, your love of your products, and your service. When you hand your product over to us, we know how important it is to you, so we make it just as important to us. It's as if your entire store is right there in our hands. That's why at the United States Postal Service, we deliver more e-commerce packages to homes than anyone else in the country. The United States Postal Service. Priority, you.
AM 560, The Answer.
Put your headset on.
Bruce Wolf, Sean Thompson. Coming up after the news, what do we got, Sean?
I'm excited about this because, now the fourth day in the radio business, this is a guest that I want. Stephanie is with the Grassroots Leadership Academy and Americans for Prosperity. And what
is that?
It's an organization you give money to, and they don't promise you eternity. It's like Catholics without all the heaven afterwards.
All right.
Anyway, the best part about this is she shows you, my big thing is that we've been slow-cooked legislatively.
Okay.
Fabian socialism is like bands.
Right.
And they strap them on you, not to prop you up,
What
but
does
to
she
keep
show
you
you?
down. She shows you how it's been done through political correctness, because it's the tweaking of words. It's why we call tyrants liberals.
Okay.
It's why we call Keynesian economics conservative. It's why we've been all twisted
All right.
around where no matter where we turn, we're going down the same path.
All right, we
Free
ran out
range
of
slavery.
You teased it a little too long because we ran out of
Learning.
music bed. Okay, now we got to rev it up, crank it up
Mike
again.
Scott does it all, and he's got the answer.
Sunny and 70 in the Nissan of St. Charles newsroom. Nissan of St. Charles, home of the Lifetime Advantage warranty. A former FBI director will apparently handle the investigation into alleged Russian interference in the U.S. election. Robert Mueller named to the post yesterday by Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein. In a statement, the president said a thorough investigation will confirm what we already know, that there was no collusion. Republican Congressman Charlie Dent is welcoming the appointment of that special counsel. However, Pennsylvania congressman wants the probe to take a different direction.
I accept it. Robert Mueller will do a good job. I actually wanted to see an independent investigation, probably an independent commission similar to 9/11 Commission. But now that we have a special counsel, I accept that.
Deputy AG Rod Rosenstein appointed the former FBI chief yesterday to oversee that investigation. The FCC set to begin rolling back so-called net neutrality rules today. The net neutrality rules were put in place by the Obama administration to prevent Internet service providers from blocking content or slowing service or prioritizing content. An Oklahoma police officer tried for the shooting death of an unarmed black man is acquitted. Jury finding Tulsa officer Betty Shelby not guilty in the death of 40-year-old Terrence Crutcher. Crutcher's sister Tiffany says the Tulsa department needs to be reformed.
And I'm going to make sure that I don't rest until we get reform for this police department in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and we change the culture of this corrupt police department.
At least 2 runners are recovering following major health emergencies during a foot race in Washington, D.C. One of those stricken North Carolina Republican Senator Tom Tillis.
The senator had a seizure on the course. He went down, did not hurt himself going down, but he was treated immediately out there.
I ran past who I found out later was the senator getting put into an ambulance. He was on a stretcher. He was breathing. In
a tweet from his D.C. hospital, Tillis thanked those who have offered prayers for his recovery. He's doing well. Charges pending after federal agents shot a suspect during a drug operation in West Dundee. Investigation is underway after a 17-year-old robbery suspect was shot and killed by an off-duty Cook County Sheriff's deputy on Chicago's South Side. An autopsy is planned today for a suburban Wheaton man who died after tumbling over a railing at Wrigley Field. Cubs score 5 times in the second and hold on for a 7-5 win over the Reds, while the Angels swept out the White Sox in Anaheim with a 12-8 win. The news service of Discover Student Loans. Figuring out how to cover college costs? Discover Student Loans is one of the top private student loan lenders in the country with great rates, 0 fees, plus students can earn a cash reward for their good grades. Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply. 7:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
I voted for Trump. I am a crazy Tea Party conservative.
The Joe Walsh Show.
Man, when I think Trump screws up, I'm going to slap him upside the head. Why? Because I want Trump to succeed. I want the wall. I want my taxes cut.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5. Right after Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
If you want a Trump cheerleader, I'm not it.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, a family tradition since 1897.
I'm worried that my employees are costing me a fortune every month in damaged or missing inventory.
I'm not sure how to solve this problem or who to turn to.
Alarm Detection Systems installs video cameras that watch over your place of business, reduce loss, and increase profits with advanced security. ADS is an authorized Honeywell equipment dealer. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6300. Alarm license number 127000143.
I can't get the alarm company on the phone to save my life. My alarm's going off all the time, and I don't know why. It's driving me crazy.
Call Alarm Detection Systems. We have live reps answering our phones 24/7, 365. No auto attendant. Call 630-844-6300. Get better customer service in return. Alarm Detection Systems is an authorized Honeywell equipment dealer. Visit adsalarm.com. Alarm license number 127000143.
7:35. Let's get a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Pike on the northwest side, Addison remains closed between Oak Park Avenue and Sayre, where a SWAT team is responding to a situation at Addison and Newcastle. Highland Park Central Avenue is closed between Beverly and Sunset Road with downed power lines. A lot of downed trees throughout the area. The Edens is 42 minutes late. Cook to Montrose, the gate blocking the entrance to the Kennedy Express lanes. That's been fixed, so you can get from the Edens to the Kennedy Express lanes. Outbound Edens, though, 40 minutes. Montrose to Lake Cook. Kennedy, an hour and 5 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. Outbound an hour. The Eisenhower, an hour and 16 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. Outbound an hour and 5 minutes. Stevenson, an hour 11. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 45 minutes. The Ryan is 28 minutes. 95th to downtown. On the northbound tri-state, delays are from 115th to LaGrange Road, Stevenson to 47th, Cermak to the Grand Avenue Curve. Traffic is a service of Napa Auto Parts. Right now, when you buy brake pads or rotors at participating Napa Auto Parts stores, you can get up to $50 back by mail. So if you hear a screeching sound when you stop, it's your car telling you it's time to head to Napa to get up to $50 back by mail when you buy select Napa brakes. That's Napa know-how. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Windy and warm, more clouds than sun. Later in the day, we'll hit a high of 80, and then temperatures drop off to a low of 44 overnight. Mostly sunny and 70. Next news at 8. Dan and Amy are in Punta Cana. Here in Chicago, Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Alpha Wealth Group, bringing the trilogy of estate, tax, and investment planning together. Visit alphawealthgroup.com for a free report.
Your money. Find out how to keep more of it and live debt-free. Tonight on The Dave Ramsey Show, starting at 7 on AM 560, The Answer.
Oh, I feel like Bill Clinton has just been nominated to be president of the United States. You know, this was the song that they used.
Really?
Yeah, it really bugged me because I was always, a Happy Days Are Here Again kind of song guy for nomination.
Well, he also danced with his pretend wife, so the whole thing was fake.
All right, we got to do a correction.
Mike Scott. Well, it's not. It is and it isn't. Yeah. Mike Scott corrected me. Okay, it was Jimmy Carter that signed the Department of Education, but the concept was under Nixon. Much like NAFTA was Reagan's idea. It just so happened that Bill Sidewinder Just Kiss It Clinton signed it.
All right, fine. Thank you.
All right,
for the
so it's
correction.
not really a connection. Even when I'm wrong, I'm right.
Let's quickly take a call from Bob from Lyle. And Bob, we set up your phone call just by saying that Donald Trump has tweeted this morning that this is a witch hunt. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. There's so many things that could be said. First of all, Chuck Schumer, armed with the media, is trying to destroy our country. Everybody that has 401ks, guess what? You just lost 300 points within about 24 hours.
Yeah, the Dow's at 20,300 doesn't.
Would you rather be high on fakeness?
Don't care.
No, I agree.
Well,
can I tell you one quick thing, though, Bob? You're a little bit right about this. You know that you know who Chuck Schumer's guy was? It's Comey.
Well, how
you
about
know that when they were going after Alberto Gonzales and they're trying to smear Gonzales when Bush name him attorney general, that it was Comey working with Comey, the straight shooter supposedly, who was working with Chuck Schumer on this. You know that, Bob, right?
Yes, and he's an Obama appointee operative.
Well, but he worked for the Bush administration as well. Make one more quick point here, Bob. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, yeah, absolutely. They're trying. Listen, we need to get the wall built. We need to keep immigrants out of this country that want to destroy us.
No, you don't.
And we want. There's so many things that we need to get done, and this president can do it. And you know what? I'm going to say this about Comey. He's a prosecutor, an attorney. There's nothing there. If Trump had done something, don't you think for a minute he would have said
Yeah.
so?
Thank you, Bob. The only thing that Trump did
was pay
no,
for
that he may have tried to obstruct justice with Comey, but there's nothing underneath it.
And contribute hundreds of thousands to Chuck Schumer. But we'll forget about that. He's my guy now. But let's go to a girl who understands it all and who I really like. And she's from Florida. She has a career spanning 18 years and 14 countries. She's worked for the Republican Party in Florida in the mid-'90s. She's worked for Democracy Assistance around the entire world. She is the senior manager at the Grassroots Leadership Academy at Americans for Prosperity. Stephanie Meyer.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks so much for having me.
So what is it that you do?
That's the question. Let me ask the question because you're my guest. I wanted you on. What she does is she explains how we've been slow roasted by the cancer of Fabian socialism 100 years ago.
Is that what
and
you
now
do,
we're
Stephanie?
at the point where we really don't own anything.
Go ahead.
She does it better
It's your
than me.
dance floor. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I get paid to travel and talk a lot, which is really great. But there is some point to what I'm doing, and it's basically the same as what I was doing overseas, which is talking about more freedom, individual responsibility, less taxes, and this kind of thing. But what's really at the forefront right now, and just cut to the whole point of it all, is that we are in a soft civil war right now, and conservatives don't seem to get it. The conservatives, the Republican Party, don't seem to understand that we're actually in a very serious fight for the framework of this country and what kind of country we're going to have.
Stephanie, can I
They're
just
talking
interrupt you
about-
for one quick second? I just read an article by Angela Codavia, which said that exact same thing, used the term soft civil war.
She's been saying it for 18 years. It's a little different. I'll
Yeah.
go with Stephanie.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't read that article. So
All right.
I can't speak to the specifics of that article, but that's exactly what it is. And the sad part is conservatives, I'm using that as a more all-encompassing term, aren't showing up to the discussion. You know, we see all of these town hall meetings right now that are inspired by Indivisible, which is a PDF download for free that all the progressives are downloading.
I know.
And it tells you exactly how to take over a town hall and how to go and really fight against conservative ideologies. And where are the Republicans who are standing up in defense of these guys when they come back to their base and talk to their constituents? There aren't constituents there. These are people who aren't even necessarily voters in that area, and they're being bussed in or they're coming from other places, and they're hijacking town halls to just disrupt. So the entire process is one-sided right now, and it's a real issue.
Here's the question I have.
motivated.
When you have 164 million people on some sort of social benefit, when you have people who say that they're conservatives but yet are demanding for government to use law as a spear, not a shield. Hey, yes, I know Roger Ailes is dead.
Go right ahead.
But let's
Move
go
on to
on
the
with it.
next
Let's
thing.
go on with the interview. Roger, I mean, really,
Okay.
is it that big of a shock? It's like, ooh, he got sued for sexual harassment. Well, how else is he going to pick up a girl?
Stephanie, we just got this news is breaking right now that Roger Ailes is dead. His wife is telling the Drudge Report that he died. So
what?
Okay, let's take a cleansing breath
Cream
and move
puff
on.
sales will go down. Sell your Krispy Kreme stock. I mean, who cares? Anyway, this is about the country being overthrown.
Go ahead, Stephanie.
It's very important that people understand that what we're going through right now and what you just mentioned isn't new. And that's why, in 1966, Richard Cloward and Francis Piven, who were both professors at Columbia University, which not coincidentally was the home of the Frankfurt School, came up with this idea, the Cloward-Piven strategy, to overload the U.S. welfare system to create a crisis that would lead to a breakdown in our internal entitlement system so that you could replace it with socialist Marxist ideology.
Stephanie, where can we find your stuff?
Yeah.
Well, my Twitter is at @smaier, SMAIER 11. You can always tweet me. You can also, there is a presentation called The Sordid History of Political Correctness. You can find it on YouTube if you Google my name and the keyword sordid history of political correctness. It'll come up that way. I also have email, which I can give you offline if anybody wants.
I'm going to tweet you. Send me the link. Listen, thank you so much. We do have to go to this fat guy, Diane. Sorry
Thank
about
you,
it.
Stephanie. We appreciate it. Stephanie Mayer from Grassroots Leadership Academy at Americans for Prosperity. We appreciate you being on with us. Thank you so much, Stephanie.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so this news breaking while we were talking to Stephanie. And, I'm glad that we continued with the discussion anyway.
Well, this is as shocking as O'Reilly's guilty of sexual harassment. I mean, no kidding. How else are these guys going to pick up?
Here's the thing. And, his wife is telling the Drudge Report, but I want to get reaction from Gretchen Carlson, who's probably grateful now that she got the $20 million settlement.
He's 500 pounds. He just went through a scandal. The miracle is he made it this long. Really?
Can you blame Roger Ailes? I mean, how else was he going to get any
Exactly.
games?
That's my point.
I mean,
Come on.
I mean,
Have you
terrible.
taken a picture of this guy? It's a miracle he made it this far.
Roger Ailes. And you know what? He was the Svengali. He did create the Fox network.
Yeah, good
and
for
that
you.
was good. And that's why I always say that Megyn Kelly, even though she was harassed by Roger Ailes, I would just give her $5 million for that. But she made $100 million because of Ailes. So you only,
And I'm the guy who it's all about the money. Listen to you.
Well, I'm just all I'm saying is she still owes him $95 million.
Svengali is right. He created something, and at the time it was necessary. Now it's obsolete. We need something else.
Hey, we're going to talk about Roger Ailes because this is breaking news, and it's very, very important. But there's even something more important than that, and that, of course, is Dan and Amy from Punta Cana.
Oh,
because,
I love it.
Yeah, vacations always are more important than people are going to die every day.
How many pallbearers will it take to put Roger in a wagon?
The fact that the father of the conservative broadcast movement has dropped dead, it doesn't matter. Dan and Amy are in Punta Cana.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
What's the weather in hell right now?
What's the weather in Punta Cana? Ask Roger Ailes what the weather's like. Windy and warm with more clouds than sun, high 80. Tonight, partly cloudy, breezy, cooler, low 44. Tomorrow, it's mainly cloudy, it's breezy, and it's cooler, high 58. Low tomorrow night, 46. Now, Jim Talamonte is going to tell you how not to get caught up in Roger Ailes' procession. Jim, where do I miss?
All right. Thanks so much, Sean. And Bruce, northwest side of Chicago, Addison is closed to everyone, living or not. Between Oak Park Avenue and Sayre, there's a SWAT team responding to a situation at Addison and Newcastle. Eden's inbound, the gate problem going to the Kennedy Express lanes, that's been fixed, so the travel time has come down. It's 32 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 37. Kennedy, an hour and 12 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, 28 minutes from Montrose, 19 in the Express. Outbound, it's an hour and 2 minutes to the airport. The Ike, an hour and 16 minutes, Thorndale to downtown, outbound an hour 5. Stevenson, an hour 11, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 45 minutes. Bryan, 31 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tri-State southbound, slow 21 to Bradley. Northbound, 115th to 75th, with a crash in the left center lane. Then from the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis and Cermak to the Grand Avenue curve. Reagan Tollway heavy from the Fox River to Eola at 83 to the Tri-State. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
On AM 560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to focus in and talk about the big ideas behind the important issues. Enter Upstream Ideas online at upstream-ideas.com. Upstream Ideas, in partnership with the Illinois Policy Institute, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted beliefs. Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now at upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to help encourage you to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit freer, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm almost 87 years old, and I have had irritable bowel syndrome. I really feel better at my age. I'm telling you, I was weak and weary and just afraid to go any place because of this irritable bowel thing, and now I'm doing better. My doctor's already taken me off I think that's the name of it, for your cholesterol. I did a test, and he said, you don't have extra cholesterol, and he took it away from me. Isn't that wonderful? I'm amazed. I really, truly am. I thought these old people on here giving these commercials were full of stuff, and they surely didn't mean it. And they do mean it.
Take Dr. Howard's Health Challenge and find out how to get 2 free sets of fruits and veggies. We'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
How would you describe your health care? If you're like most Americans these days, the word affordable isn't top of mind. Well, here's some good news. There's actually a trusted healthcare option that is affordable. It's called Medishare. Unlike insurance, Medishare is Christian healthcare sharing, a community of more than 200,000 believers across America who share each other's medical expenses. It's about half the cost of insurance, and it's fully acceptable under the law. And here's the best part. Because Medishare is based on biblical principles, you never pay for things that go against your beliefs. Medishare is affordable health care for Christians.
Learn how thousands of Christians can help you save on your health care. For your free information guide, call 844-41-BIBLE. Now available in Montana. Medishare, affordable biblical health care. Call 844-41-BIBLE. That's 844-41-BIBLE.
AM 560. The Answer. Your money. Find out how to keep more of it and live debt-free. Tonight on The Dave Ramsey Show, starting at 7 on AM 560. The Answer.
Hola, Dan and Amy. We're at Secrets Cap Cana Resort in Punta Cana. We're on our Passport to Paradise vacation. Sponsored by the generous folks at Woodfield Nissan, as well as Geiger Wealth Management, Best Dental Group, and the IRS Radio Hour with attorney Stephen Leahy. And Amy, we did a little ping pong throwdown. This is kind of an aperitif to a longer ping pong series that we will play before the week is out. But, I mean, it was a little bit of kind of sizing each other up. We had never played ping pong before. I found out, and I underestimated you, I must say.
Did you hear that?
Woohoo!
Little, can I get an amen?
I thought,
I'm a little bit of a player.
I thought I'm playing with a girl. I'll go easy with her. You know. And then,
that wasn't the case, was it? Because the first game I schooled you.
I started. Well, you were starting mumbling to yourself about like Grandpa
John.
Grandpa John in his basement in Niles, and I'm like, oh.
Well, I learned how to play ping pong.
Weaned at the foot of a master.
No, we had massive ping pong tournaments in my grandpa's basement in Niles.
Yeah.
Where we'd play first cousins, and I'd play my siblings, and we'd go back. We had a tournament, a bracket formation. And my grandpa, though, was the best. He had 9 fingers, kind of like Rahm Emanuel, because he was a tool and die maker, and he got one chopped off at the shop. But
that's a little bit more heroic than Arby's.
But exactly.
Yeah.
But he could do the backspin on the ball, and he was great. And we played real rules. We're 5 and 5.
Yeah.
You serve from.
That's how we played.
I know, but normal people these days don't know the rules.
We're not
and
normal
without
people.
rules, there's chaos. So we played an actual legitimate game of ping pong. But I beat you the first game. And then you schooled me the following 2 games. But I want you to know one thing. You had a 2-game warm-up before you played me. Now, if I had been warmed up, I think I would have beaten you 2 out of
Do
2
you?
in a row.
Is that what you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's what I know.
You also think you legitimately won the first game, which is cute.
Oh,
That's funny.
Who saw the first game? Garrett?
Yeah.
You guys?
Yeah.
Debbie? Yep. Brick?
Yeah. No, I mean you won. You won,
Well,
but I mean, was this guy going at full speed? Come on.
Oh, you're not cute when you're condescending.
No, I know. No, but you're a good ping pong player. That's why it's fun, because there's not a lot of people. I love ping pong.
I love ping pong.
And I didn't have Grandpa John.
Grandpa John.
Yeah.
Mit Vater.
So I had to get a scholarship to the Wheaton Sports Center to play at their ping pong table there, and so that's where I learned. But it's a fun game, and not enough people play it. I don't know why. But
you're friends with the
But it's fun.
owner.
It's fun to play with another good player.
Yeah.
I mean, sort of. And so no, we'll play a lot more. Yeah.
We will. I'm
Yeah.
just getting warmed up.
Yeah.
And your friend owns, what is it? The ping pong?
Robert Blackwell owns Killer Spin
Killer
in
Spin.
Chicago. Yeah,
Mhm.
which is great. Like called ping pong experiences for corporations and stuff, because it really is. It's a quick game and it's fun. And you as you were talking about with your tournaments in the basement, you rotate people in and out, and so it's very collegial. And I'm just sorry that obviously your participation in those tournaments had to end when you gave birth to Marcus's wife. And then it was family focused for you. Right? But you had a good run. So that was
Oh,
nice.
it's not over yet. We're
yeah,
having a rematch.
and
and
actually,
if you want to see
know
the
who else?
video,
By the way, you know who else is a good ping pong player?
Who?
You'll be surprised to learn. You'll be shocked to learn.
Michael Mann.
Michael Mann, our general sales manager.
Oh, I'm gonna beat
good
him
ping pong
next.
player.
Okay.
Another person of privilege that I'm up against. A scrapper from Wheaton.
If you want to see the ping pong tournament, go to 560theanswer.com/passport.
That is our website.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Mike Gallagher here with exciting news about Woodfield Nissan. If you've waited to buy your next car, there may never be a better time to buy because Woodfield Nissan is drastically reducing the prices on all their vehicles to make room for incoming inventory. Now, this is your chance to save at least 25% off MSRP on select new Nissans. Every new Nissan is on sale. There's no other Nissan dealer in the Midwest that I recommend. Don't waste your time shopping around. Go to Woodfield Nissan in Hoffman Estates. A huge selection of 2017 Nissan Altimas, Sentras, and Rogues. Now available with 0% APR financing for 72 months with no payments for 90 days. And they have a $2,000 Nissan customer cash rebate. Buy your next Nissan at Woodfield Nissan in Hoffman Estates, 2 miles west of the Woodfield Shopping Mall at Gulf and Higgins, or go to woodfieldnissan.com.
Prices are plus tax, title, license, and dock fee, and savings off MSRP is on select models. 0% APR financing is on select models to qualified buyers and is $13.89 per month per $1,000 finance to qualified buyers. Interest may be accrued from date of delivery. 2 or more available with this offer.
Need a new CPAP? Then we need you. We're CPAP.com, and we recently overstocked the world's best CPAP machines. Top-of-the-line devices from brands like ResMed and Philips Respironics. Call now and get one of these overstocked CPAPs for a fraction of the price. We'll even give you free next-day air shipping. Call 1-800-500-5671. The best part? No insurance needed. We're giving out these CPAPs at prices so low, they'll cost less than your copay and deductible through insurance. CPAP.com has shipped over 1 million orders and has the world's largest selection of CPAPs and accessories. With no retail overhead or costly middlemen, we're the best way to get comfortable, effective sleep apnea equipment at incredibly low prices. Again, CPAP.com has overstocked premium CPAPs. Call now to get a ResMed or Philips Respironics machine for a fraction of the price with free next-day air shipping. Call 1-800-500-5671. Hurry. When these overstocked CPAPs are gone, they're really gone. That's 1-800-500-5671.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Do you know your bank's fraud tolerance? I'm Ann Dollagall, Treasury Management Executive. At Signature Bank, we have zero tolerance. While some of the big banks may write off smaller incidences of fraud, we use a multi-layered approach to fight fraud before it happens to our customers. There's been a record number of businesses hit with payments fraud this year. Keeping your business assets safe is our top priority. We are trained, and we will train you to recognize potential wire fraud threats and business email compromise scams. Call us today to find out how Signature Bank can work with your business to fight fraud.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The savings keep stacking up at Lumber Liquidators' Summer Stackout Sale. Choose from the best selection of wood-look waterproof flooring, like a Vela wood-look tile. It's an extra 20% off with coupon. All Dream Home X2O water-resistant laminate is on sale. Get pre-finished hardwood from $149, including $1 off per square foot on Bellawood. Plus, overstock, small lots, and more from just 59 cents at your local store. And special financing. Hurry, stack up the savings at Lumber Liquidators today.
It's time to gear up for summer fun. The Ready to Ride sales event is here. Looking to ride the waves? Check out our selection of Sea-Doo watercraft. Want to tear up the trails? Shop our selection of Can-Am ATVs and side-by-sides. Or rev up for open road adventures with the latest Spyder Roadsters. Stop in now and save up to $3,500 on your ultimate warm weather adventure machines. Visit Nielsen Enterprises in Lake Villa. Offer ends soon. Restrictions may apply. See dealer for details.
AM 560, The Answer.
Bruce Wolf, Sean Thompson, coming up after the news. Roger Ailes has died, and I want to say all kidding aside, because, you know, there are a lot of jokes that you can tell, but this guy created the Fox network.
Yeah.
And when he created that network, the other broadcast networks, the broadcast network said, well, what do we need another network for? We've got it all covered. No, they didn't have it all covered at all. And finally, we were able to show that there is a diversity of opinion, or there are different ways of presenting the news, and he did that, and he was lambasted for it. And yes, he was a human being. I understand that. They did a lot of bad things to, some women, and you should not discount that. But his contribution to broadcasting is immense.
Visionary, true visionary,
No
really.
question
And,
about it.
he found a way for Bill O'Reilly to pick up chicks.
Exactly. And that's the coda that we need there.
Here are the stories we're watching right now. Fox with the latest on developments in Washington, D.C., with the naming of a special counsel. Teenage robbery suspect shot and killed by an off-duty sheriff's deputy. And in Chicago, WIND Chicago News Time, 8 o'clock.
This is a Fox News alert. I'm Dave Anthony. Roger Ailes is dead. The founder of Fox News, who built the brand into a cable TV giant. His wife Elizabeth just put out a statement saying she's heartbroken that Ailes died this morning at age 77, calling him a patriot.
Ailes got his TV start as a producer on The Mike Douglas Show. His shrewd political instincts caught the attention of a guest on the show, Richard Nixon. He became a media advisor for Nixon.
Fox's Hank Weinblum.
But his career at Fox came to an abrupt end in 2016 when former anchor Gretchen Carlson sued him for sexual harassment. Others, including Megyn Kelly, made similar allegations. Ailes left the company and briefly became an informal advisor to Donald Trump's presidential campaign.
No reaction yet from President Trump. Earlier, he tweeted about the probe into Russian meddling in the 2016 campaign, getting a new lead investigator, calling it a witch hunt. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
President Trump taking to Twitter, writing with all of the illegal acts that took place in the Clinton campaign and Obama administrations, there was never a special counsel appointed. He continued, "This is the single greatest witch hunt of a politician in American history." Those tweets come less than a day after the Justice Department appointed former FBI Director Robert Mueller as special counsel to oversee the investigation into ties between President Trump's campaign and Russian officials. The president saying in a statement there was no collusion between his campaign and any foreign entity. Dave?
Now, John, Democrats have long wanted a special counsel. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says he now has significantly greater confidence. Republicans also support Mueller.
I think it's a good thing because this takes the politics out of it, hopefully.
A rock star has died. Chris Cornell of Soundgarden and Audio Slave fame found dead last night in his hotel room after a concert in Detroit last night. He was only 52. A Cornell representative called it sudden and unexpected. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
68 degrees, mostly sunny skies, south winds at 16 miles an hour. Good morning, I'm Mike Scott. In the Nissan of St. Charles newsroom, Nissan of St. Charles, home of the Lifetime Advantage warranty. A path of downed trees and missing shingles from the Quad Cities to the Chicago suburbs, from Rockford to Peoria, as strong storms tear across the area overnight. National Weather Service looking into reports of a couple of funnel clouds, top winds at about 71 miles an hour. Charges are pending after federal agents shot a suspect during a drug operation in West Dundee. It happened late last night as agents from a drug task force were trying to arrest two men near Route 72 and Sleepy Hollow Road. An autopsy is planned for later today for a suburban Wheaton man who died after tumbling over a railing at Wrigley Field. Richard Garrity fell Tuesday night, leaving the Cubs' home win over the Reds. An attorney for a Chicago man charged with attacking a security guard last weekend outside of a River North condo project says his client is expressing some deep remorse.
He's horrified by what he sees, and our concern right now is making things right for the victim, and that's what he plans to do.
Matthew DeLeon appeared in bond court yesterday on multiple counts of aggravated battery. Cubs score 5 times in the second, hold on for a 7-5 win over the Reds at Wrigley Field. Angels sweep out the White Sox in Anaheim with a 12-8 win. The News is a service of Farmers Insurance. When your journey takes an unexpected turn, it helps to know someone who can get you back on the road. With over 89 years of experience at Farmers, they've seen almost everything, so they know how to cover almost anything. Find an agent near you at farmers.com. 8:03, time for the AM 560 Business Beat. From the Fox Business Network and a service of Turnkey.pro, here's Ginny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, Walmart earnings for the start of the year are mixed. The company made more money than expected, but its sales at stores open at least a year were only slightly higher. Walmart's online business is picking up. Digital sales rose 63% in the first quarter. Cisco is laying off another 1,100 people as it transforms from a hardware to a software and services company. These new cuts are on top of 5,500 announced in August. Among other issues, Cisco's chief executive Chuck Robbins says Cisco is seeing fewer orders from the U.S. government. Growing concern about the Trump administration's ability to push through its economic stimulus program is keeping stocks under pressure. The Dow declined 372 points yesterday, the Nasdaq lost 158, and the S&P was down 43. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Ginny Cosola.
8:05 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
You need to understand that the way you build wealth is you do not use the evening news or CNN or Fox to set the tone of your emotions around your investing.
The Dave Ramsey Show.
If you're thinking of changing your investing patterns because you're watching the news, you need to turn off the news. You are in charge of your destiny.
Dave Ramsey. Weeknights starting at 7. Presented by Wintrust Community Bank on AM 560. The Answer.
Buying a new tractor? You owe it to yourself to visit your LS Tractor dealer. LS Tractors give you a lot more tractor for less money compared to other brands. For starters, LS Tractor comes with more select features as standard equipment. They make operating your tractor easier with better performance to get more work done quicker. Compare and you'll know who gives you more tractor for your money. LS Tractor. Excel in your field. Learn more at lstractorusa.com.
Visit Abbey Equipment in Streator and get more tractor.
The Can-Am Spyder Ready to Ride sales event is here. Shop now and experience the thrill and freedom of the open road this summer. Can-Am Spyder's unique Y-frame design lets you take on every twist and turn with stability and comfort. Hop on one and turn every day into an adventure. Shop now and save up to $3,500 on select 2016 models. Find your ultimate thrill ride at a great price.
Visit iMotorsports in Elmhurst or online at iMotorsportsinc.com.
Offer ends soon. Restrictions may apply. See dealer for details.
8:06, and let's check the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On Chicago's northwest side, Addison remains closed between Oak Park Avenue and Sayre due to a SWAT team responding to Addison and Newcastle. The Edens is 30 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 39. Kennedy, an hour and 4 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 35 minutes from Montrose, 32 in the Express, outbound 56 minutes to the airport. The Eisenhower, an hour and a half. Thorndale to downtown, an hour 12 from Manheim, outbound an hour 11 to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 11 minutes. From 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 45 minutes. Ryan, 31 minutes from 95th to downtown. Tri-State southbound traffic is heavy from around 132 to 137. From the Adams Tollway to the Irving Park Toll, northbound jammed 111th to 75th. From Cermak to the Grand Avenue Curve. Veterans Memorial slow, Boughton most of the way to St. Charles. The Army Trail tolled to 290. 8094 has roadwork delays in both directions. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
A windy day with gusts up to 30 miles per hour. More clouds than sun with a high 80. Partly cloudy, breezy night, low 44. Mostly cloudy skies tomorrow with a high 58 and a low 46. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
70 at O'Hare, 68 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update, 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Advanced Planning Advisors, bringing you Smart Money Talk with Mike Moylan and Rob Curvin, Saturday mornings at 6.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Brucey. Ding, 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 ding. Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy. Our phone number is 312-642-5600. The Turnkey.Pro answer line, the only show on Chicago radio where we argue with you before you get a chance to make your point. And so give us a call.
What kind of insurance did Roger Ailes have, Bruce?
You know, I love being the straight man because I'm the one who always is too soon. Too soon. Roger Ailes is dead.
Yeah.
Roger Ailes was
You have a high
dead
deductible?
at the age of 77 years old. The founder of the Fox Network is dead. There's a tweet from one Keith Conrad, who happens to be the producer of this show. He goes, first Chris Cornell, who was this band guy with this Soundgarden.
Yeah, 52-year-old rock star. Shocking,
Yeah,
he
which
died.
I never had never
treats
heard
himself
of.
like a dirt bike, and he makes it to 52. Not bad.
I'd never heard of him before he died. First Chris Cornell, now Roger Ailes. I hope they have Betty White in protective custody. She never dies.
Oh, buddy.
She's Methuselah.
Are you kidding me? She's
But anyway,
like the Rasputin of Hollywood. Listen, but we're putting a book together for the young kid.
Yeah.
You know, so little dating tips, like you don't date girls who work at Slap and Tickle Massage Spa.
Sure.
You don't date them. So the other thing is, I want to tell them, don't worry about high deductibles and health insurance because you mistake it for longevity and good lives and nice, pleasant deaths. Roger Ailes proves it doesn't matter how much money you have, what you did for a living. It matters about, at the end, we all go, and you go suddenly. And if you're lucky, two clowns mention it on radio.
You know what? I actually heard this morning when I heard the news of Chris Cornell, somebody reported that it was sudden and unexpected.
Yeah, which
And
one
I-
isn't?
Well, I was wondering, is there ever a sudden death that is expected? Perhaps Ailes' was because he just recently lost his gig.
Come on,
this
he's
had to.
embroiled in a scandal. He's 500 pounds.
I
His
think
wife
this-
finds out he's probably sleeping with everybody. There's a lot of stress this guy's been
I
dealing
think it took 18 months off his life. Now Roger Ailes did do bad things. The sexual harassment was really bad. But as I mentioned,
with. Is it really
earlier,
shocking? Did you
well,
see him?
Megyn
You got to
Ke-
use money and power when you look like that.
Megyn Kelly, for example. I mean, I'd say that she deserves like $20 million for the harassment that she suffered from Ailes. However, she earned about $100 million from him, so she still owes him about $80 million. And yeah,
She could have done worse. They all, you know. I
No,
mean-
he was a bad guy personally. But, you know, a lot of people are bad guys personally. Mozart was a bad guy. Mozart was an enfant terrible.
Deaf in one ear.
No,
I
that's
saw-
Beethoven.
Whatever. Somebody. I saw one movie, Amadeus.
Maybe he was deaf in the other ear.
Yeah, somebody
not
was
that
deaf
ear.
and good
Let's
with
go
the
to Eddie from Lake Geneva. Hi, Eddie.
Good morning. How you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Say, I just wanted to let everybody know, I think we are having like a soft revolution here. I mean, if you look at what's going on, these are fascists that are out there in the streets causing chaos. It's been proven that George Soros is backing these people. Okay. We need to wake up as a nation or we're going to lose it. That's all I can say.
See, this is
Thank
why,
you, Eddie.
This is
Appreciate
why I
it.
love the listeners at 560 AM. Because he had his eye on the ball. He wasn't distracted with this fat old guy dying. He understands we do have a civil war.
This
One
fat old
question I
guy
wanted
was
to ask.
important. And can
Oh,
I
he's
tell you why?
great.
No, let me tell you why he's important. Because Eddie's talking about the fascists in the streets. Okay. Rich Roper, who works for WGN Radio, got a Peter Lisagor Award this week, and so did last week, and so did NBC Chicago. They got these awards, journalism awards, for their coverage of the Trump rally that was disrupted in Chicago last year. And they're patting themselves on the back and patting each other on the back over this. And Roper is saying things like, I saw the story through. I saw past Trump saying that the cops told me to shut down the rally when, in fact, Trump shut it down himself. Well, the problem is that they didn't see it all the way through. The problem is that Mr. O'Keefe, James O'Keefe, got Jan Schakowsky's husband to admit on tape
Bob Creamer?
that he brought in some outside agitators.
And where did that case go?
To disrupt the Trump rally. That's part of the story. And do you think that Rich Roper covered that? Do you think that Channel 5 covered that? I'm asking you, did they? But you know who does cover that kind of stuff?
Bruce Wolf.
The Fox News Network. Thank God for Roger Ailes.
Yeah, listen, he was a great man.
Thank
he did great
God.
things. But, I mean, okay, give it the homage it needs. 5 minutes, okay, I know he's dead. Let's move on.
Well, let's go to Jeff, who would like to say something nice about Roger Ailes. Hello, Jeff.
Hey, good morning, guys. Roger Ailes had so much skill, more than anyone in the last half a century, at just taking the pulse of the American people and kind of tapping into their id and what they were really afraid of and making sure that they had a chance to have that expressed. But in the last 5 minutes, you've called Chris Cornell a dirtball and just said that Roger Ailes was a great man. That dude was a monster. He was a serial harasser, horrible racist. And if we're going to call either of these guys...
Wait a minute, Roger Ailes was a racist?
Well, Bruce has to work on nice things. He doesn't know what that means.
He's the guy, he sought out a segregationist to make sure he was on a panel for Richard Nixon. He's the one that said for Willie Horton, the only question is if we're going to put him in the commercial with a nut or not.
Wait a minute, I'm talking about for the Fox Network. When he
Roger Ailes, who
but when Roger Ailes wait a second, Jeff. When Roger Ailes would have Kirsten Powers, the liberal, on the Fox News Special Report panel, is that an example of racism? Is that racism?
Neither is drinking tea in the morning. He did a ton of horrible racist things.
I'm talking about his work at the Fox Network, creating that network to give us diversity of opinion here. Is the Fox Network racist?
Stretch when he was a serial harasser of women that almost...
I will stipulate right now that he was a serial harasser of women and he was not good, personally. I am talking about what he did with the Fox Network. Was that good?
How about Robert Byrd?
It was brilliant political work.
Wait a minute, though.
All right, thank you, Jeff.
I'm going to ask Jeff. So he's a serial racist, but Robert Byrd, the Democrat, Klansman, the leader of the Democrat Party, that's not a racist? So, I mean, this whole racist thing, we throw it all around.
Let's let Jeff have the last word in.
Buddy.
I got this from O'Reilly. Go ahead, Jeff. Last word. Jeff?
His phone broke up.
Are you there? Jeff, I'm sorry, it was your phone. You got to get
sorry, but
better
the Robert
service.
Byrd.
All right, we'll take more
come on.
calls. Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy, who are on Punta Cana.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Sean, you want to do the traffic? Or
Well,
you talking to yourself?
I'm talking to myself. Bill Clinton and molesting interns. He's okay, but Roger Ailes, he's the bad guy.
You know what this logical fallacy
just make
is?
fun of him. You know what I mean?
I taught you earlier this week
You
the
did.
Latin word for the logical fallacy that you're engaging in right now. What is that Latin word phrase?
Memorandum? I don't know. I wasn't paying attention.
Tu quoque. Tu quoque.
Yeah,
it means
everyone's
you
bored.
too.
Listen, let's go
It
to the
means you
exciting
too.
weather. The
Okay.
windy and warm with more clouds than sun. High 80. Tonight, partly cloudy, breezy, cooler, low 44. Tomorrow, that's when everything goes bad. Mainly cloudy, breezy, cooler, and it's only going to get to 58. Tomorrow night, 46. Saturday, it's rainy, it's miserable. You're going to wish you were in Florida, where I sell real estate. Cheap plug to Jim Telemonte. Tell us what to miss.
Thanks, Sean. Traffic's pretty miserable right now. We've got all kinds of down power lines and trees blocking roadways, and there's a SWAT team situation responding on Addison on the northwest side at Newcastle. So Addison's blocked in Oak Park Avenue and Sayre. The Edens is 30 minutes late cooked to the Junction, outbound 39. The Kennedy, an hour and 4 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 56 minutes. The Eisenhower, an hour and 31 minutes. Thorndale to the post office, an hour 12 from Mannheim, outbound an hour 11 to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 15 minutes, 3:55 to the drive, outbound 41 minutes. The Rhine is 31 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tri-State southbound, bottled up 132 to 137. And from the Adams Tollway to the Irving Park Toll, northbound, just a mess, 111th to 75th, where there's a crash in the left center lane, and Cermak to the Grand Avenue curve. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
I'm James Furr. I'm a 70-year-old Vietnam veteran, and I have hepatitis C. My main focus was to take care of hepatitis C. Taking Balance of Nature did other things for me. I was feeling more energetic. My mental acuity had increased. When I play golf, I would notice that bending over to line up a putt, I would have a bit of a struggle to stand back up. But even now, 10 years later, I stand up better than I did then. I will live happily with hepatitis C instead of feeling like I want to die because someone's trying to cure me of it. Thanks to Balance of Nature, I live a normal, happy, healthy, pain-free life.
Take Dr. Howard's Health Challenge and find out how to get 2 free sets of fruits and veggies. We'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
Scoundrels are not exclusive to politics. They're smart enough to occupy necessity service industries like the automotive business. As a real estate broker, my car is a lifeline and a total necessity to my business and my family, which is why I had to seek out an honest, truthful auto service provider. For over the past decade, I've put my trust in Craigies Mobile Service Center on Lake Street in Addison. Craigies handles full auto repair on foreign and domestic vehicles. They pride themselves on providing you the best cost-effective auto repair and expert advice. Craigies has full service bays and truck lifts that can service and manage your whole fleet. They also provide priority service for your business and can track each vehicle, alerting you to the repair before you need it, keeping your guys on the road. Since 1959, Craiggie's Mobile Service Center has thrived through 10 presidential administrations, giving you reputable, dependable, and honest auto repair. Do yourself a favor. Just go into Craiggie's on Lake Street in Addison. See my guy Vic. He'll set you up. Tell him Sean from Elmwood Park sent you. I approve of this message.
AM 560. The Answer. Let freedom ring this afternoon at 2 with Sean Hannity. Right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy. Here's a tweet from Julie Gannis. Hearing of Roger Ailes' death is almost as shocking as hearing he was married. Yeah, it was a shock to hear that. Who knew? He had a beloved wife, and she had to suffer through all this stuff.
I like that
Roger
she kept
Ailes
her eye on
dead.
the ball and stayed with him right up until now, where she has no divorce settlement to argue about.
Other people are tweeting, are we going to be this kind of Bill Cosby? I saw Bill Cosby in concert a number of times, and he was hysterical. But you hear about him; it's horrible.
Not much of a date.
I love Woody Allen movies, and it's
no,
really
see,
tough
that's
to
where I
suffer
draw the
through
line. Listen, I get the whole
Yeah.
self-loathing humor. I get it, but when you start dating your daughter, brother, and you have the audacity to then marry her and pretend everything's fine, normal, walking down the street, you're a scumbag.
No, it's not just that. It's the real bad thing is the alleged, except I believe the story, that it wasn't harassment. I mean, this was actually molesting
outrageous.
A child in an attic.
If you're in the right
and I
neighborhood,
believe
you
the
get away with
story.
it. It's
I believe
great.
the story, and yet his movies are fantastic. Can we take a couple of calls here?
Yeah, fantastic.
Let's go to Mary Ann and Wilmette. Hi, Mary Ann.
Well, hi there. Well, first I was going to say, damn you, Sean from Elmwood Park, when you stole my thunder on Bill Clinton, but then you pulled up Woody Allen, who I also think is just so skeevy. I can't watch his movies.
See, and only me, you, and a couple people know what skeevy means.
Don't you like Husbands and Wives? I thought that. How about Bananas? Was that a great movie?
Not when they're your daughters. When you change their diapers, they shouldn't be your wife later.
All right.
Well,
Just
you know what?
despicable.
Now I understand where he was coming from when it was everything you wanted about sex. We're afraid to ask her. I forgot what that.
What are you saying, that there were premonitions there or foreshadowing in everything you always wanted to know about sex, about his sexual proclivities?
I think so. I think it was sort of a blueprint for what he would like the world to be like.
What, to drink Woolite and be sitting on a corner like Gene
I like
Wilder?
Pennies from Heaven. You remember Pennies from Heaven? Was that him?
That was one of the ones I skipped. Mary Ann, did you have another point to make before?
Well, no, my point was just that when you were talking about Roger Ailes, I thought and mentioning that he was a serial racist, I heard serial rapist and immediately thought of Bill Clinton.
Oh,
okay. Gets a
No, I didn't say that. A caller said that. And when they talk about our guys supposedly being racist, they mysteriously leave out what the political party of the Klan was, which is the Democrats. Now you represent all the minorities, right? I'm so sick of people peeing in my ear telling me it's raining.
Mary Ann, thanks so much for your call. Let's go to Art from the North Side. Hi, Art.
Hey, good morning, guys. With the fight about for 38 years, 35 spent in Inglewood. I am tired of the word racism, and I'll tell you what, I am sick of it. All the people I know are sick of it, because I'll tell you what, you turn around, you look at somebody, he's a racist. In fact, you hear about Bill Cosby's daughter yesterday, that this whole trial is racism. I mean, come on.
Right.
You know what I learned?
I have a personal story with Bill Cosby, which I cannot tell.
Really? When did he drug you,
He
Art?
went on a double date with him. We don't want to know, Art. Don't incriminate yourself. Take the fifth.
Oh, you know what? I remember you were on I Spy with him, weren't you? You were the white guy on I Spy with Bill Cosby.
No, I'll tell you what.
Okay.
I was doing something with Bill, and there was a lady that was in charge of the whole operation, and she's a Polish lady, and I'm Polish. So anyways, she said, you tell that SOB if he puts another hand on me, I'm going to beat the crap out of him.
Yeah.
Really?
My money was on the
What were
Polish
you
guy.
doing with Bill Cosby?
Hey.
I told him not to incriminate himself.
I'm sorry?
I was shocked. I was shocked.
Wait, how are you Bill, traveling in Bill Cosby's circles? Did you meet him at the Playboy Club? Were you spinning around on Hefner's bed with him? How did you know him?
A security guard.
See that?
I see. Okay, thanks so much, Art.
Leave the
Appreciate
guy
it.
alone,
And
you
by
know?
the way, even if Art is making up the story, it's almost
He's not making up
impossible.
the story.
And he's not making up the story. But even if he were, it's almost impossible to libel Bill Cosby. You can't damage his reputation any further. Can we go to Kurt from Park Ridge?
Yeah, let's go to Kurt.
Okay. Hi, Kurt.
Hey, guys. Hey, you know what? I'm going to be sickened all day long because, you know, these left-wing parasites, they dragged Roger Ailes through the mud. And fine, he did a lot of bad things. but they're evil people themselves. Who has not sinned in their life or done something wrong? But they're going to drag him through the mud one last time. Here's a poor guy that passed away. God rest his soul, and they're just having one more opportunity to pick at his corpse, the vultures that they are.
Thank you, Kurt. Appreciate that. And remember that, Left Wing, when the founder of MSNBC dies. Who was that, by the way? Nobody cares, right?
Wasn't it in Citizen Kane? I can't remember.
I think it's Phil Griffin. I'm not sure.
And the other thing too. Do we have time? I want to address this racism thing. It's funny to me. All these Oak Park guys, these Oak Park liberals, and all these people who are like that in the North Shore, and they like to call people racist. They're the kind of guy that when it's 3:00 in the morning, and a person of a minority status is banging on their door, they call the police. I open the door and say, "What's going on? What's up?" When I grew up, when I had friends,
but you're holding a baseball bat in your hand.
I judge people on who they are. These are people that not only want to pretend that they sympathize with people, they want to give them special advantages because of their own inadequacies, their own racism. I look at a black man, a Mexican, whatever the case may be, a Chinese person.
They're all scum to you.
No. They're all men. Open your mouth so I could tell you who you are. But in the meantime, I judge you. I give you that benefit of equal ground. And that's why I am actually mingling with people of various races as pretending to be better than them and paying them to have certain advantages. Saying, you know what, you're too stupid to compete with us, so let's give you extra points on a test.
These soft bigotry.
Nothing is more racist than a communist dressed as a socialist, pretending to be a liberal, trying to help you.
As I like to say, the soft bigotry of low expectations.
I could have said that. It's faster.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been original either.
Mine's original.
Took it from somebody.
Yeah, guy named by the damn prof.
I
very
think
smart
I think
guy
you need to
Northwest.
workshop this a little bit.
We'll kick it around. We got a guest.
Boil it down to a tweet.
And you know what I'm
okay?
excited about in the next segment? We've got a guest that's a friend of Dan Prof's. Poor guy doesn't know what he's doing.
So he's a friend of the show. We can't rip him.
I don't rip anybody. I got
we're
going to
be talking to Faisal Khan. He's the CEO of Project 6. I remember when it was only Project 5.
Yeah, I want to ask him about if you're
a
a watchdog for Cook County and aldermen, how do you not pick up on who's giving him the money?
Well, he's
curious.
He's getting into the whole thing about how aldermen use their power to wreck a private business. So we're into that. Also remembering Roger Ailes. And don't forget Donald Trump.
What?
Donald Trump.
Easy.
Donald Trump has tweeted. I wanted to say Donald Trump has tweeted, and
You're going to get. I'm not affiliated with him.
I telescoped that into Donald Twunt. Donald Trump has tweeted that this whole thing is a witch hunt. I combined Trump, tweet, and hunt.
See, I would have went with it's the bias against men in girdles. Everyone hates a man in girdles. See, you got to play victim, baby.
All right, I'm going to go back to broadcasting school right now while we return to the messages.
Mike Scott with the answers?
Not yet.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Hey, you've heard how Automated Systems excels at assisting companies with systems integration and FDA compliance, but they're also a staffing leader. They supply handpicked elite leadership, subject matter experts, and proven technical professionals in engineering, quality control, and FDA compliance to support the life sciences field in executing mission-critical projects. ASI provides highly specialized pros to deliver projects on time and budget. Don't pay a lot more to a big consulting firm, and don't trust the big temp agencies to supply the talent you need. Call Laz, my friend Laz at Automated Systems, when failure isn't an option. ASI is retained by all of Chicagoland's Fortune 500 life sciences companies, from big pharma to startups, and excel through a culture of excellence in execution. For a staffing, compliance, or automation evaluation, call Laz now at Automated Systems at 844-HIRE-ASI or visit AutomatedSYS.com. That's 844-HIRE-ASI or AutomatedSYS.com.
All Nissans are created equal. It's Nissan of St. Charles that makes the difference. At Nissan of St. Charles, we go the extra mile to make sure your happiness lasts as long as you own your vehicle. Every new Nissan or used vehicle we sell comes with our exclusive Lifetime Advantage warranty. So when you get your new Nissan at Nissan of St. Charles, you'll drive with peace of mind knowing it's backed by our exclusive warranty that lasts the lifetime of your vehicle. And be sure to ask about our Lifetime Tire program. Where else can you get a great deal on a new Nissan, a Lifetime Advantage warranty, and a Lifetime Tire program? The little things make all the difference. While all Nissans may be created equal, the difference is clearly Nissan of St. Charles. Located on North Avenue in the heart of St. Charles. Or visit us online at nissanofstcharles.com. That's nissanofstcharles.com. Nissan of St. Charles. Experience the difference.
A storm is on the horizon, and you need to keep the lights on no matter what. Your business relies on the power being on 24/7. It's the lifeblood of your data and computer systems. Weather-related outages from the power company are not acceptable. Your need for a source of power that's reliable 24/7, along with round-the-clock service that can dispatch technicians to your site immediately, is mission critical. Your business needs Charles Equipment Energy Systems on speed dial. These are the big boys, not residential or solar, but reliable industrial generators for emergency backup or events. When you need more than a 100-foot extension cord plugged into a small engine generator, call Charles Equipment Energy Systems. They keep the lights on with rental generators for job sites or power outages. The storm season is here. Plan ahead. Call now to prepare generators for sudden damage and potential power outages. Call 630-834-6000. That's 630-834-6000 or charlesequipment.com. charlesequipment.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Bruce Wolf, Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy. Coming up after the news, we will rip David Letterman before he dies.
I see no reason not to.
Because we waited till after Roger Ailes died. Now let's go to the newsroom with Mike Scott.
Bruce and Sean, good morning. Good morning, everyone. 68, but winds are out of the south at 18 miles an hour this morning. We're in the Nissan of St. Charles newsroom. Nissan of St. Charles, home of the Lifetime Advantage Warranty. Sean and Bruce have been talking about with you this morning. Former Fox News chief Roger Ailes is dead. His wife saying in a statement this morning, the 77-year-old died this morning. Ailes was founder and longtime chairman and CEO of Fox News and the Fox Television Stations Group. President Trump will eat lunch with network news anchors today. Politico reports the meal, which will be off the record, will cover Trump's upcoming foreign trips. The U.S. is going to continue Iranian sanction relief from the Obama-era nuclear deal while hitting Tehran hard with new unrelated sanctions. The Treasury Department announcing that they target Iranian military officials and a Chinese-based network that supplies Iran with materials for ballistic missiles. Republican members of the Senate Intelligence Committee applauding yesterday's appointment of former FBI Chief Robert Mueller as a special counsel overseeing that Russian probe. Chairman Richard Burr of North Carolina.
This is, I think, a positive thing for the American people that you've got a former director of the FBI and a highly respected lawyer who can work for the acting attorney general.
Committee member James Langford of Oklahoma called Mueller a prime decision maker. Charges are pending after federal agents shot a suspect during a drug operation in West Dundee. The shooting happened late last night as agents from a drug task force were trying to arrest two men near Route 72 in Sleepy Hollow. The mother of a 16-year-old Chicago girl found dead last year in Markham is suing the classified website Backpage.com. Desiree Robinson's mother filed that suit yesterday, accusing that site of creating a marketplace for child sex traffickers. And for a few brief hours this week, Baltimore's beloved Camden Yards and the football stadium, M&T Bank Stadium, were under new ownership. On Monday, the homes of the Orioles and Ravens were accidentally placed on the city's list of indebted properties, where any investor could snatch them up at auction. Baltimore Sun reports this morning the Maryland Stadium Authority owes thousands of dollars in unpaid utility bills. Two investment groups snagged up the facilities, one of them joking they would raise the football stadium and build a soccer stadium instead. Officials later voided the sales, saying state-owned facilities, no matter if they own bills or not, are exempt from the auction block. Cubs score 5 times in the second. They hold on for a 7-5 win over the Reds. Angels get a 3-game sweep over the White Sox with a 12-8 win in Anaheim. The news, a service of Farmers Insurance. When your journey takes an unexpected turn, it helps to know someone who can get you back on the road. With over 89 years of experience at Farmers, they've seen almost everything, so they know how to cover almost anything. Find an agent at farmers.com. 8:33, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher has had enough political correctness.
If a black guy took out a sword and started stabbing white college kids, one would think that should be part of the conversation. But you're not allowed to have that conversation because for some reason we are reluctant to have an honest dialogue about what very well may be a hate crime.
The Mike Gallagher Show.
I am so sick of political correctness.
Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Start your day on the right track and take Metra. Metra's 96% on-time dependability helps you get where you're going on time no matter what's happening on the roads. Visit metrorail.com. The secret to how the rich keep getting richer is by passing down their wealth, generation to generation. If you do the same thing, you'll be leaving a legacy and be doing one of the most important things possible for the people you love. The ugly truth is, you don't have an estate plan. Everything you own, including your house, cars, investments, everything could be tied up in courts for a year or longer. It could cost your estate tens of thousands of dollars in probate and legal fees, even double government taxation. You can avoid this painful, costly mistake by contacting Tom Fortino of the Alpha Wealth Group. Tom hosts the Alpha Wealth Hour, heard Saturday mornings at 9 on AM 560, and has been a featured expert on Fox Business, Fortune, and Money Magazine. Right now, Alpha Wealth Group is offering you a free estate planning kit if you call 630-873-6326. That's 630-873-6326. 630-873-6326. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, Inc.
8:35. And a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Still seeing issues on the CTA Pink Line with signal problems near Ashland and Lakes. So Pink Line trains get to Polk, but then connect with the Blue Line at Racine. There are also shuttles running. The Edens has improved. It's 24 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 35. The Kennedy is an hour and 8 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 36 minutes from Montrose, 38 in the Express. Outbound 48 minutes downtown to O'Hare. Inbound Eisenhower, an hour and 14 minutes, Thorndale to downtown. 54 minutes from Manheim. Outbound an hour to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 15 minutes. 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 41 minutes. Ryan, 29 minutes from 95th to the Loop. Southbound Lakeshore Drive. Stop and go Bryn Mawr to North Avenue and 18th to the Stevenson. Northbound from 31st to Jackson. Tri-State southbound delays are 21 to 176. And from the Adams Tollway to the Irving Park Toll, northbound from 111th to 75th, Cermak to the Grand Avenue curve. Traffic answers when you need them most. Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Windy and warm today, more clouds than sun as the day progresses with a high near 80. Currently 72. Next news coming up at 9. And with Dan and Amy cavorting on the sands of Punta Cana, we're back here at work in Chicago on the Morning Answer with Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson. Next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Money Hour radio show, Saturday afternoons at 3 on AM 560, The Answer. Brought to you by Pearshell Financial Group.
Coming up next, it's me, Mike Gallagher, right after Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560, The Answer.
Bruce Wolf and Sean Thompson in for Dan and Amy. And, you know, I come from a background of clout. My grandfather was a 50th Ward Democratic precinct captain.
Really?
And in the old days, and I'm going to use this, I'm going to couch this very carefully because it's a politically incorrect term. When you had a sponsor like Bernie Nystine of the 29th Ward, and he was helping you out, you'd call him your Chinaman.
Really?
Okay? Your Chinaman. And
well, you
so
think with clout like that, you'd have better shoes on.
Exactly.
I mean, really?
But so I'm a little familiar with this. Well, somebody who's even more familiar with this, who's worked extensively in this area, is Faisal Khan. He's the CEO of Project 6. He's the former legislative inspector general of the Chicago City Council. Thanks for coming on the show, Faisal. We appreciate it.
No, thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate that, too.
So I'm reading this story, and it's just so illuminating. And if you could detail it for us. The battle between Chicago's Double Door music venue, and a lot of people have followed this, the Double Door closed down. There was a war between, well, it's essentially between the owner and the tenant, and this is a private dispute, and you'd think that would be the end of it when the owner got the tenant out of there. But no, because there's an alderman in the first ward, and it's not Fred Rohde anymore.
Can I guess who won?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
But it's not Fred Rohde in the first ward anymore. It's Proco Joe Marino, and apparently he decides to get involved in this and act as the lawyer, manager, and real estate agent for the Double Door owners, even though they didn't ask for it. And why don't you take it from there, Faisal?
Sure, guys. So you covered it pretty well. So thanks there. Double Door and the owners of the building, the Strauss family, had a dispute, like unfortunately happens between landlords and tenants all the time. The dispute took a while and eventually went to court, where Double Door was evicted from the building. Whether rightly or wrongly really is irrelevant. After they evicted, the alderman from the first ward, a recipient of thousands of dollars from Double Door, decided to intervene on their behalf and basically threatened the alderman, telling him that he needed to rent to Double Door again at a discounted rate. And if he didn't, he would downzone their property so they would never see a dime of income from that place ever again. This conversation was completely recorded outside the building on video, and it's available to see at thesecret6.com, our website. And you basically see an alderman, guys, who thinks he's above the law, that even after a court has ruled, his opinion is more valid, and he inserts himself into a private dispute between two parties.
So when does the U.S. attorney get involved and throw him in jail?
Great question. I think I know where you guys can direct that. Unfortunately, I won't be able to answer that for you.
So, Faisal, it seems to me that New York invented political corruption and New Jersey perfected it, but Chicago made it an art form. And this happens in the broad daylight right in front of us, whether it's Patty Blagojevich working for Tony Resco, whether and it all seems to stem around some sort of real estate, some sort of variance, some sort of a scam where government has a monopoly on it and they use legislation as a spear. But how do we stop them from driving around in Bentleys and us from paying them off? Because pay-to-play is out in the sunshine and nobody seems to care.
No, you're absolutely right. It is absolutely out in the sunshine. And I disagree a little. I think people do care, and that's why we start seeing videotapes of this. We start seeing complaints come in. We have a lot of people call us at Project 6 to tell us about situations like this. And the best we can do is keep shining a light on it and hope that our law enforcement authorities are paying attention.
Well, Faisal, when video game operators and marijuana distributors stop being lobbyists, I'll start believing we're making headway. Until then, I think we're losing. I think they've built a system that is insulated and it is corrupt, and we don't have a way to tear down the walls. I really do.
No, you know what? It's hard to argue with your position because we see this happening every day, right? Yeah. Unfortunately, this is a way of life in Chicago. And we need Chicagoans to get their outrage back. They have to get angry about this again.
Well, they better listen to the show.
In this system.
I'm just curious, Faisal, you are shining a light on it, and we're helping a little bit. Have you gotten a lot of, because I live out of town, and I don't pay attention to this, and they just drop me in here every Punta Cana vacation. But, I mean, have you gotten a lot of coverage on this particular dispute and what Marino did?
Yeah, CBS 2 ran it the other night at their 10 o'clock hour. So the video is out there. So people are upset. We're seeing a lot of response on our social media communication sites. And other people are coming forward to describe similar problems. They've not just had with Proco Joe Marino, but with other aldermen. The best thing we can always hope for is the reaction and the catalyst effect it becomes in reporting other scenarios that are similar to this.
And I don't expect you to, play the devil's advocate here, but has Marino given any kind of defense for his activities?
Well, he's given a litany of defenses. All would seem to be one seems to be inconsistent with the other. Look, we don't have a problem with an alderman advocating for what's best for his community or her community. We understand that. But there's a fine line between being an advocate and being a bully, and Mr. Marino himself admits he was a bully. And he picked sides in a private dispute after a court had already ruled. We have city departments that handle problems like this. If there's a problem in the building, Mr. Marino threatened this building owner, said he's going to have inspectors at his building every day if he doesn't.
Oh, we send out the building inspectors. My grandfather was a building inspector. First he was, first he got a job at the racetrack. Not at the racetrack. He used to go to the racetrack. First he was an administrative assistant for Cook County, but then he got a job as a building inspector. So we know how those are used as a weapon as well, Faisal.
Yeah, well, we'll have that conversation about patronage jobs when you bring me back one day.
Well, you know what, Faisal? In my neighborhood, gangsters have the courage to stick a gun in your mouth, slap you around, and take your money. I have more respect for them than these frauds that use law and their power to get the same result. It's outrageous to me.
Can't argue with you. Your argument is sound.
Faisal Khan, we can reach you. You're at P6Khan, Khan, on Twitter, and you're the CEO of Project 6, former legislative inspector general of the Chicago City Council. Thanks for shining a light on something.
Guys, thanks for having me on. I
Appreciate it.
appreciate you shining a light on it.
Thank you. Faisal Khan joining us this morning. And
it's an outrageous story. It really is.
yeah,
outrageous. You know why I've opened a business recently, and I've had something similar happen to me very recently. I don't know if I can even talk about it. We got to get my lawyer on here.
Yeah.
But the same thing. These bureaucrats, these useless, good for nothing, do nothing, waiting for their pensions to kick in. They utilize their false made up power to extort you. It's always about the money. And this lowlife. Anybody want to guess what kind of car he's got in the garage under a tarp?
Oh, we should allow Alderman Marino to come on our show.
I'd love you to impress me with your wisdom
Because
and
I
your
don't
power.
I don't want to pass judgment before
I do.
all right. Well, you pass judgment on the callers before they even get a chance
judgment
to
on
talk.
Roger Ailes before he chilled off.
Our top story, we have two top stories this morning, and one is Trump reacting to the criticism or to the naming of the special counsel, Trump calling the whole thing a witch hunt, and also Roger Ailes, the founder of the Fox Network, dead at the age of 77.
Also in a
and
girdle.
as bad a guy as he was, he created the Fox Network, and I remember when at the time it was created, I was working in television, and everybody thought, in TV thought, what do we need this for? It's at best superfluous. We've got it all covered, because in their myopic view, they had it all covered. But they didn't believe in diversity of opinion or in a diverse way of presenting the news. And Ailes brought in, and they made fun of the blonde bimbos that they brought in, but then he brought in blonde bimbos who actually were smart.
I was a big fan until he adopted the William Randolph Hearst of he who controls the information controls the perception. I watched Fox religiously. Anybody that knows me knows that. It's when they started to become a cheerleader for Keynesian economics, and you still see it today, that I don't watch it anymore.
Well,
so
they're
it's
not
time
all
for a
that
new
way.
one.
Yeah, right. They have gone
Get
into
out.
the Trump camp a
Get
little
out.
bit.
Now
but we
his
still
kids are
got-
going to take over anyway. Murdoch's kids.
Right.
Bing and Ling, two trust fund babies. Yeah, you take charge. Let me see how that goes.
All right, Dan and Amy are going to be reporting from Punta Cana post haste.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560.
You know, I'd like
The
to
Answer.
throw a curveball Dan and Amy's way and hear the traffic and weather from Punta Cana. That would be better than this. Today, windy and warm with more clouds and sun, high 80. Tonight, partly cloudy, breezy, and cooler, down to 44. This is how you get sick. You sound like Mike from the north side. Tomorrow, mainly cloudy, breezy, cooler, high 58. Low tomorrow night, 46. Saturday's a debacle. It's going to warm up to 73, but you're going to be wet all day. It's terrible. Jim Telemonte has the morning mayhem of moms dropping off kids in minivans stopped.
That may be, but the SWAT team situation is ongoing and fluid on the northwest side of Chicago. We still have a closure of Addison Street between Oak Park Avenue and Sayre. In Highland Park, Central's blocked. Beverly Place to Sunset with down power lines. The crash has 45 at Third Lake closed, Washington Cottage. Edens is improving. 24 minutes, Lake Hook to Montrose. Out on 32. The Kennedy, an hour and 14 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. 43 minutes from Montrose. 42 in the Express. Out on 48 to the airport. The Ike, an hour and 13 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. Outbound an hour. Stevenson, an hour and 8 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 41 minutes. Bryan is 29 minutes. 95th to downtown. Tri-State southbound. Slow from the Adams Tollway to the Irving Park Toll. Northbound getting better, but still slow 111th to 95th. Archer to 31st. And Cermak to the Grand Avenue Curve. Veterans Memorial stop and go Boughton to the Reagan Tollway. And from the Army Trail Toll to 290. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Hey, how would you like to have insurance for your computer network? Something to protect your hardware and software and, more importantly, give you peace of mind. Well, using Turnkey IT for installation and support of your systems is like having insurance for your computer network. For one affordable monthly payment, your company gets a full team of certified technicians who are there for you, working in the background to ensure your systems are up and running. They'll help you over the phone and make house calls to your workplace. And Turnkey IT doesn't wait until there's an emergency call. Oh no, they work hard to take preventative measures, keeping your network secure, backed up, and running nonstop. Turnkey IT can protect your network with the Turnkey experience, where everything is included: Office 365 hosting, advanced network protection, cloud backup, disaster recovery, and unlimited remote and on-site support. Find out what Turnkey IT can do for your company today. It's easy. Visit turnkey.pro. That's turnkey.pro.
Harvey owns a building and wants to save money by